Hi, I'm Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Good Wednesday. Is there no one in America that sees what I see with Michelle Obama? President Obama didn't set me off last night, even though both Obamas screaming decency, and then President Obama essentially, we know exactly what he was doing. It wasn't crowd size, it was Trump size. That's what he was going with. You know, that's where he was going. Penis stuff. Yeah, dignified, if the Obamas say it. All right, I want to play you from Mrs. Obama last night, and this always sets me off with any liberal, any Democrat, any progressive at any time, anywhere, but particularly with the Obamas. The lectures both on race, but to start out with, these greedy people like Trump, and how her mother taught her, the whole meme with her mother, Mrs. Obama, shattered right there, that the mother was suspicious of people who had too much wealth. When is it enough? You heard that if you were watching last night. Dan, I don't know if you were watching or not. You look in pretty good health. Maybe you wouldn't if you were watching like I was, intently on this. Just marking down what is so galling. This is the same woman who said it not once, but twice in 2008 in Xenia, Ohio, for the first time in my adult life. Not life. You notice how my adult life, I'm proud of my country. Why was she proud of the country? Because Barack Obama was going to be president. They were receiving. That's the only thing that made her proud of her country in her adult life. Who knows if she was allegedly affirmative action at Princeton or not? I don't say that about Obama. I don't say it about the Clintons. But Mrs. Obama, never challenged. Never challenged by anybody under any circumstance.
Don't let anyone ever tell you that this country isn't great. And let me tell you something. For the first time in my adult life, I am proud of my country. Because this right now.
Boy, you must have had that at your fingertips. You know, the Democrats, too, want to mouth at their convention, yeah, America is great, and then they run it down. Then we still need affirmative action. We need everything else out there, but it's never finished. And what genius put Bernie Sanders followed by a Batman villain who said he was, look at Pritzker. If you put him up on Twitter, let's ask, what Batman villain does that guy remind you of? I'm proud to be a billionaire. Following Bernie Sanders attacking billionaires. Was that intentional to kind of rope-a-dope us? All right, let's start off, though, with Mrs. Obama. And here's the thing right out of the box. We heard this connection to her mom as a theme through the speech. Okay, that's always a good thing to do. And her parents suspect of these people that keep on piling up wealth. The sense, leave something for somebody else.
That little sounds something weird.
Yeah,
Elephant in the room, Dom.
But elephant in the room?
Yeah, the fact that she's incredibly wealthy herself.
Oh, yeah, and I'll give you the details on that, Dan. And it's not just the money. I always look at the houses. So if Michelle Obama's mom were there, would she say, Michelle, do you and Barack need 3 $10 million plus houses? 3. It's not like, look, you're doing pretty well. You have a nice home, and you got a condo at the shore. I don't care, by the way, if it's your money and you want to buy 50 homes. I don't want to hear from you, though. How in the world are you a progressive? How are you a liberal when you have 3 $10 million plus homes? The two things cannot square. So if I were debating right out of the box, Dan, and once I get on the point, I don't care what you do to me, what else you want to talk about. I'm talking about that forever because it's the shot that nobody. What would Michelle Obama say about that if she were ever asked just once
about paddleboarding?
About
paddleboarding?
Oh yeah, the paddleboarding. And not only that, where are the homes? Hawaii, Martha's Vineyard, fancy neighborhood in Washington. I mean, come on. All right, here's what she said about her mother's sense of wealth and when is it enough. Cut 9A.
I wasn't even sure if I'd be steady enough to stand before you tonight, but my heart compelled me to be here because of the sense of duty that I feel to honor her
I don't
memory.
really want to be here, but I'm here.
And to remind us all not to squander the sacrifices our elders made to give us a better future. You see, my mom, in her steady, quiet way, lived out that striving sense of hope every single day of her life. She believed that all children, all people have value, that anyone can succeed if given the opportunity. She and my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. They understood that it wasn't enough for their kids to thrive if everyone else around us was drowning.
How in the world, even for Michelle Obama, even for just this corrupt, hypocritical, they're the party of compassion, that no one out there, you know what it is, they're scared to death. You can't say anything like that. And I'm not talking about racist that are just going after it in that kind of manner. I'm talking about at the heart of this corrupt party of billionaires like Pritzker coming on after Bernie Sanders and saying, I'm a real billionaire. What's he doing up there then? Why should he be a billionaire? Probably inherited from Hyatt. I don't think he built Hyatt or had anything to do with it. And then this leads into affirmative action. So the Obamas, according to 4 reports that I found, so let's make a rough estimate, are in the neighborhood of $75 million of wealth between the two. Knock yourself out. It's America. That's great. But shut up in telling us, and then I'll make the linkage here to affirmative action, that every white person in the world apparently is a trillionaire. Well, Donald Trump at one time is not a billionaire, and then he is a billionaire. When it suits here, he only cares about himself. Why is it that so many, then, the other question to ask Michelle Obama, why is it, or both Obamas, why is it that so many people in rural America, so many people who are, quote, working class, idolize Donald Trump? They're the base of a lot of support. Not all, but that's a real base of it. They're just dopes. That's what you're thinking, aren't you? They're dopes. See, we got these people scammed over here that we can be worth $75 million, and yet we still have the ability to tell you about decency. We can make jokes about Trump's penis, but we still have the high ground.
Decency.
Yes. Well, we got one, Dan, too. Yeah, how her granddaughter hates Trump, the dean of decency.
I do have a quick hypocritical thing here, Dom.
We need an economy that works for all of us, not just the billionaire class. But take it from an actual billionaire.
They're cheering him. Wait a minute. Why are they cheering a billionaire? And let's look at the background of this Batman villain. How did he get the billion? They just cheered Bernie Sanders. You know what it is. They want to be wealthy beyond belief. They want to do whatever the hell they want, and they want to lecture us. That's what this party's been about. They want to tell us about decency, and they want to abort up to birth. They want to tell us about decency, and yet they want males and girls' locker rooms. And yet we have to hear about decency. Michelle Dean and the husband, not me, Joe DiStefano, Dan, your friend from the Philadelphia Inquirer, wrote about her and the fortune they made where their bicycles in communist China. How does Madeline Dean have any call to lecture anybody about decency? But she said that's what she ran on. If you're new to the show, well, I call her the Dean of Decency. Last name Dean, it fits. She talked about this guy who came in a rainstorm to see her, unlikely when she was first running for Congress. And he walked up to her and said just one word, decency. Go to Washington and restore decency. Who was indecent? Well, Trump, of course. Madeline Dean is the epitome of decency. Here's Dean yesterday on PBS. I think this is the PBS one, telling us about the grandkids and why they don't like Trump.
We have seen Donald Trump and J.D. Vance try to talk about the economy. They've put forward Project 2025. They've put forward the notion of big tariffs and mass deportations. That will be incredibly inflationary. Every economist tells us that. So they'll talk about the economy.
How about bicycles in China?
He will talk about the accomplishment of growing 15+ million jobs, bringing inflation down, bringing manufacturing back, bringing the Safer Communities Act into law. Which is actually saving lives from gun violence. It's just such a stark contrast of going back to something that was incredibly dark and caustic to our democracy, as capped off by January the 6th, as you well know. Just a very criminal, corrupt set of norms for the former president. We're not going back, as my granddaughter says, who's 3. We're not going back. We're going forward for the American people, for my children, our grandchildren, for the economy, for the environment, for education, for women's rights, for freedom.
We're not going back. All right. Well, Madam Dean, we just see today that the new figures are out from the U.S. Department of Commerce about jobs allegedly created. From 323, from March of 23 to March of 24, they overestimated, Dan, the number just came out, by 818,000 jobs. Was that a rounding error? Was that just a little error? Is somebody cooking the books there in the Biden administration? That just came down this morning. They overcounted by 818,000 jobs. Play that number today. It might be lucky. All right. So, you know, Michelle Obama then started to pivot toward affirmative action and started to talk about people failing up, how people they're not cushioned by wealth. And then there was a parade of people, one who is particularly despicable, Dan. I know this guy's a former Congressman, Joe Walsh, who used to be the premier Obama basher. Now he hates Trump, so he's on CNN, and he says as a white guy how powerful that was to talk about systemic racism. They're sitting there on top of $75 million. We're seeing a parade of diverse people, the Harrises, everybody else, and yet what's the lecture point still? White people are rich and getting away with it. Black people need affirmative action. In addition to Michelle Obama telling us what her mother said, and then in the next sentence, talking about her success. I wonder if she had given those numbers and said $70 million, 3 homes, $10 million plus. Progressives there would have applauded. This is stuff that doesn't get called out. Again, it's the media. The
You
media,
didn't build that.
That too. The media has the same attitude. They want theirs, and they want to lecture you. It's fine with getting yours. I don't care in any way, shape, or form how you do that as long as it's legal. But don't tell us about what we should be doing, what the country should be doing. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get in. Let me give you the side question today. And it kind of landed here based upon what I just said about Michelle Obama. We were fooling around with this other day. There was something on the national calendar about CEOs, head of a company. Who would you want, by the way, Trump or the Batman villain, Pritzker? That guy Pritzker doesn't seem to me like...
No, he doesn't.
He made that money on his own. You know, now his head would be a good battering ram. I'll give him that. But Batman villain.
Yeah.
Hit us with a CEO.
Norman Osborn from Spider-Man? Is that who he is?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess that could work.
Penguin, kind of.
That's what I was thinking.
You
put
think
him in there. Let me see that guy waddle. I think he's got a good waddle.
Yeah, he could definitely play a good penguin.
Yeah. I am a billionaire. They applaud him after Bernie Sanders just said, put him in jail, billionaires. All right, so hit us with your
But take it from an actual billionaire.
Oh, God. You think they might be going, should we be applauding that? Is that something we're applauding?
No, it definitely got a louder applause for him saying he's proud to be a billionaire than Bernie with the...
let them all eat cake. All right, so we're looking for a person, either real or fictional, you think would be great to be a CEO, pretend it's your company. Who do you want running it? All right, Dan, I'll let you start. Who do you say?
Maybe, well, first off, real person... My favorite shark from Shark Tank, Lori Greiner.
Yes.
I think she has the kindness. I think she has the cutthroatness that's needed for being a CEO. So probably real life, the first person that comes to mind is, for a long time, it would have been Mark Cuban. I went to IU. You know, I feel very related to Mark Cuban in certain ways until recently when he started going weird with the politics. So Lori Greiner might be my real life one. And then probably from the world of fiction, I don't know, maybe Blake from Glenn Ross.
You like that Alec Baldwin's
I mean,
character.
we're not supposed to, love the guy, right?
But you just want him to be effective.
Yeah, relentless, you know?
Okay. Do we want Michael Douglas saying greed is good?
There you go.
All right, 855-839-1210. I'll sprinkle in a couple, but I'll give you a shot at that. In your reaction to the Michelle Obama speech last night, the tactic, and I'll lay it out for you, is they're trying to make Trump small. In other words, they're talking about everything about him is small time, you know, to get into his head and also to take him down a peg. He's not bigger than life. Now, I think this is going to be hard to do. I'm not sure how Trump will react to it. You may remember with little Marco and the whole thing they did back and forth. But how does Obama get away with playing around there with crowd size and talking about size, and he's Mr. Decency, and so is she. Based on what? I have the list, too, and I'll give it to you. Where do you think, Dan, out of the top 50, Michelle Obama ranks, according to YouGov? Big poll, alive or dead, and not 100 years ago, the last 20 or 30 years. Where does she rank as the most popular person?
38.
38. All right, she ranks number 5.
What?
Michelle Obama is 5.
Is that from every facet of life or just politics?
These are everything.
Wow.
Yeah, she's number 5. Barack Obama's only number 6.
She's ahead of Obama.
She's ahead of Obama.
Well, Barack.
I'll give you number 1, who
Sorry,
is deceased. Well, both of them are deceased now in this. But it's very telling. Might be the most overrated person that we've seen in quite a while. More than or just as much as Kamala Harris. 855-839-1210. That's how you get in right now. Hit us on the side question, too. You're with Dom and Dan on Talk Radio 1210.
This week, all eyes are on Chicago for the Democratic National Convention, and Rich Zioli is there.
While our economy is doing well by many measures, prices for everyday things like groceries are still too high.
Listen this afternoon, 3 till 7, for the latest news, excitement, and drama as it unfolds. Rich Zioli, live from the Democratic National Convention. This afternoon, 3 till 7, only on Talk Radio 1210. WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort. Now, I know you're probably spelling comfort in your head and asking yourself, is that possible? Am I just a really bad speller? Look, I don't know your spelling aptitude, but Skechers most definitely put the S in comfort because Skechers is the comfort technology company and has developed fits and features that change everything you know about comfort. Like hands-free Skechers slip-ins, the ultimate in comfort and convenience. It's footwear you just step into and they're on with no bending down. Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
If it's been a minute since you've considered an Infinity, well, it's time to take another look. Head over to Infinity of Westchester today and secure rates as low as 4.99% on Infinity certified pre-owned models. And this month, take advantage of amazing offers on new Infinities during our end of summer event. Don't wait. Visit us in-store at Infinity of Westchester today or visit us online at infinityofwestchester.com. Philly rides with us.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
The Middle Thoroughfare Bridge has reopened to traffic in Cape May County. A judge rules the SS United States needs to move from its South Philly pier in 3 weeks. And Bryn Mawr College will be the second college in the area to provide free SEPTA rides for full-time students.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. You got the side question today. CEO, real or fictional, you want running your company. And your reaction, particularly, again, President Obama, problematic, but Michelle Obama, much more problematic. And everybody in the world, even on Fox, well, Brett Baer and Martha, thrilling. Nobody can do it like that because he's never challenged on anything. Is that not a legitimate challenge? And notice where she's going. She's using the mother story to get to, and then she said they were suspicious of wealth. They didn't want to acquire wealth. And you're standing there in this mode then. So when does it become an interesting question, Dan? And I like to not deal in vagaries. I like to give a figure. I think if you are worth $5 million or more, then you got to shut up about unequal income and all this stuff. That's a lot of flexibility, don't you think? I'm not saying $1 million. I'm saying if you're worth $5 million net worth, your homes, everything else thrown in, you got to shut up. You can't lecture ever. And if you're worth a couple million, you got to be very careful about this. Why are you worth a couple million? They're worth $75 million, and yet this is what we hear. Parents suspect of this. Can't have this. You have more than you need. And then they link it to Trump. But then they link Trump. They try to, they're success stealers. They're trying to tell us that Trump only succeeded because he started off with a father. Now, that was a nice leg up. But Trump built the father was collecting rents in Queen. Trump said, I'm going to roll into Manhattan. That's a big difference. Now, I'm not saying, Trump is a rags to riches story. That would be preposterous. But the Pritzker guy stands up there and says he's a billionaire, and it's Hyatt. I don't think he founded Hyatt or anything like that. So they're going to cheer this. It doesn't matter, these things. In the media, nobody picks up. I mean, doesn't that go off in their head? Wait a minute. You have 3 $10 million homes plus, and yet you're going to be talking about people in America don't have stuff and all this. Then should you not have maybe 1/10 of that? Wouldn't that be enough?
I mean, conspiracies aside, if you can afford a private chef, you probably shouldn't be speaking.
That's another thing. Yeah, that's another example. No, Dan, that's a great one. If you have a private chef, then we don't want to hear from you about decency and telling us how to live. Progressives want it both ways. At least, well, no, Bernie Sanders, Dan, has 3 homes or 4. How does he talk about anything?
Well, he rides a bike.
Yeah, we gave you the rider that Bernie Sanders had at every hotel he has to stay with, all the stuff that you have to do. How do these people get to tell us societally about that? The answer is they don't. Well, I'm going to remember that one. If you have a private chef out there on paddle boards or something, and it's...
You can afford to pay a chef to go paddle boarding,
and
especially.
it's so hacky where they are. Right over a cliff in Hawaii, Martha's Vineyard, of course, the ultimate of hypocrisy, and in Georgetown, or bordering on Georgetown in Washington.
Like, if you gave me a list of the top 5 elitist locations
Yes.
in the United States, they got 3 of them
Yeah,
covered.
exactly. And they're working on the 4th and the 5th. What are you doing with 3? I'd love to know how many days a year are the Obamas in the Hawaiian House. Well, a perfect example. Did you happen to see it last night? We have the sound, we'll play you, of the Jersey person reading off how many votes for Kamala Harris. But Phil Murphy, Dan, actually had the nerve to say, we're Jersey. And I bet all across Jersey, including Zioli, saying, no, you're not. You're from Massachusetts. Who are you kidding,
And
buddy?
I live in Italy.
And then they put some, it appears to be male, masquerading as a female, giving us their pronouns. Here's New Jersey last night when they said who they were giving their electoral votes to.
And lifting up vulnerable communities. That's what we mean when we say the Great Garden State.
So stereotypical.
My name is
Bruce
Dr.
in the
Joey
background.
Corella, pronouns she, her, hers. I'm a proud resident of the Garden State. I'm proud to stand with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because they stand with the LGBTQ community.
I'm trying to...
It's time to turn the page on Trump first. Thank you.
Oh,
a nice touch, Dan. I was going to ask as a side question, who would be good the next RNC convention to come and do the roll call? Little John. I know it's little,
That
but
was
I like
amazing,
saying Little
man.
John. Yeah, Little
I-
John
I-
out there. Yeah.
They one-upped Kid Rock by bringing out Little John, huh?
You think Kid Rock would run from place to place doing the nominating thing with these blowhards?
I can't believe they actually had this happen.
Yeah, they couldn't get Bruce Springsteen, I think. Yeah, Jim says, remind people that Bruce will be here tonight. Here's the old-timer, Dan. You know, people interview him. He comes down. What would he do if someone asked him a question about the grievance, these tank towns in Jersey, all of his connection to that, and he is not just guesstimated. We know now because he sold his works. He is a billionaire plus. How does he get to continue to sing about that?
Working class, Tom.
Yeah,
He has
he's
a
a
farm.
working class guy. Yeah, he's got work. Yeah, he's
Started with dressage.
and he got a lot of tax breaks on that farm. He had a head of lettuce there, and then the dressage, and he's worth $1 billion. To me, this is one of the easiest things to puncture progressives with.
Oh,
yeah.
That's they did this song at the DN's. Okay, never mind. That Little John song is a very dirty sexual
well,
song.
that's even better.
Yeah,
That's
I
even
hope
better.
he didn't sing the lyrics to it. It was just an instrumental.
All right, so it's 855-839-1210. Side question: Who do you want running your company? Give us that CEO. Think outside the box. Real or fictional? Probably Michelle Obama. Nobody'd say anything. You got to all just snap to and follow orders. Let's go to Joe in Bordentown. And, Joe, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, thanks for starting us off.
Hello, Dom. I have a bulletin for you. Jennifer Lopez is divorcing Ben Affleck.
Oh, yeah.
Newsman Joe over here.
Newsman Joe. Thank you, Joe, for that. No more Bennifer. So, Joe, who's your CEO?
Tony Stark, Iron Man, assisted by Pepper Potts.
I like it.
All right, Tony Stark as the CEO. All right, that's outside the box a little bit. We could roll with that.
Well, Don, what do you think of J-Lo and Ben Affleck? I think he was wondering your thoughts on that.
Well, I think she's would be impossible to live with, obnoxious. But in the category, all right, I'll ask you, who's more insufferable, Affleck, or let's start with one we just talked about, Affleck or Springsteen? I say Affleck.
No, it's definitely Springsteen.
No, I say Affleck.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to win on that.
You got one who's a bad actor who's very corny, and another who's just completely disingenuous and makes political statements left and right. And
I'm sticking with Affleck.
Acts like he's a blue-collar guy. Yeah.
All right. You may win on that one. By the way, RFK Jr. got dumped. The suggestion toward the end of the show yesterday when his VP person said they're looking to form a party, an actual party, for 2028, the People's Party, funded by billionaires, or endorsing Trump. So I'm going to predict, Dan, they are going to endorse Trump. It will happen. I'm trying to figure would they do it during the convention to rob a night? How much news play would that get? Or will they wait? They wouldn't do it on Friday. So I'll predict Monday. By then, RFK Jr. will endorse President Trump. And we were asking, do you see him as a VP choice? Oh, the bile, the all-out attack. Because I was just looking at the idea, does he help you to win? Would that do anything? Because he's really crashing the polls. But if he gets out, which I hope he does, that helps Trump. Because the polling is pretty clear that slightly, very slightly, he's taken a little bit more, don't ask me why, I can't figure that out, from Trump than he is from Harris. Slightly, in the swing states. So Trump could appoint him, the obvious, Health and Human Services.
The way that the VP candidate spoke about the Democratic Party, I think, alone isn't. I don't even know if he needs to give him a seat in the, or anywhere in the cabinet. Just the way the seething hate that it seems his fans have for the Democratic Party after seeing the turmoil that they had to go through might just send them to Trump.
Oh, he
anyway.
wants something. Yeah, she did talk about they put operatives inside to sabotage them, et cetera. So, no, I think it's fine if Trump makes him the head of Health and Human Services, but people still adamant, rejecting him. He's just a liberal hiding. He's more of a hybrid of a lot of different stuff. So I think this is going to happen. How much of an impact? It's not going to be something that alone turns the election. But remember, this is an incremental gain. Say in Pennsylvania, how many people now would give another look at Trump, or at least not want to vote for Kennedy, if Kennedy endorses? Are we finally going to be able to get him on the show? Are Bears going to be safe?
My God. The person just keeps giving me a runaround.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, come on.
All right.
Come on the show, Robert.
By the way, Michelle Obama, decency, Dan, omitted any mention of Joe Biden from her speech. For some reason, she despises Joe Biden.
Decency.
Yeah. Madeline Dean. If we see her riding a bicycle, just ask, did that come from, did a Uyghur make that bicycle, Madeline? Now, when I had her on, we turned out the battle was over potholes and fixing them, how hard it was to do.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one time she was on. She was still a state rep then. All right, 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all you have to do is just push pound 1210, and we'll get you on board. And don't forget the side question. You're with Dom and Dan on Talk Radio 1210.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Comedian Joe Conklin.
Ship snappers moving from Kensington to Delco?
My uncle used to sell his gallstones at the Bazaar of All Nations out on Baltimore Pike. Had a nice establishment here, 3 different dart teams and 4 leagues, video poker, and hard-boiled eggs, pickled eggs. We keep them right out on the bar there.
See Joe Conklin in Delco at the Media Theater with the City Rhythm Orchestra, Saturday, November 16th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you raising the child of a loved one? You're not alone. Like many others, you've stepped up to raise the child of a friend or family member, allowing them to live, grow, and thrive among people they know. While fulfilling, it can also be challenging. But there is support. PA Kin Connector helps kinship caregivers just like you by providing connections to resources, services, training, and support groups. Don't navigate the journey alone.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show. Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show. Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Weather sponsored by Express Employment Professionals.
Our beautiful fall-like weather continues. It's going to be 75 today with mostly sun. We're going to see a lot of sun with maybe some clouds tomorrow, going up to 82. It'll be 85 on Friday with a little more clouds. 85 and 87 on Saturday and Sunday.
If your supply chain demands a flexible workforce, hire with Express Employment Professionals. With contract and full-time workers from Express Employment, you get the staff you need and manage contingent labor costs. Learn more at expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano show. So the media is bringing in every 2 of them were former Obama advisors on IVF, on the fertilization process, because apparently, as best I can tell, this guy is such an embellisher. It's beyond embellishing. That would be walls, the Great Walls of China. Apparently, they're saying, well, you know, it's a process. He probably just got confused. Most men wouldn't know what the hell they're talking about. So I can't even tell what the controversy with this guy is. I can't even tell if he's lying about it, that they did this, because, look, these dolts in Alabama, now we have to live with this forever. How come the mobs in the street, Democrats don't have to own that? We have to own, though, these people in Alabama with the IVF stuff that every Republican now has come out, pushed back on it, and said, no, we're not on board with this. We support this. We want people to have families. It's science. What else do you have to say? So Walls gets caught up in this now, and the pushback is, well, Republicans are against it. Where's that? So if you've been through the process, know anything about it, you know, just give us a call. And I'm not even sure what Walz is lying about here. But that seems to be the contention again. We know he lied about the military. We know the evidence is almost overwhelming that he's a stooge of China. Very suspect on that, big time. He said, why should they be an adversary? So Mike Waltz, Congressman Waltz from Florida, will be here at 2:30 today. Waltz, decorated Green Beret, combat veteran, and a retired colonel in the National Guard, held a news conference today on national security, Biden-Harris. And I think some of this, with Biden completely asleep at the wheel, what's going on here? There's that. But for the future, Waltz on China, whenever we finally, if we do, get to some questions. Now, our buddy, Dan, Josh Shapiro, was asked yesterday whether he agrees with what Biden said at his 11/28 speech the other night, where he said, you know what? Those people protesting in the speech, they have a point. What point do they have? Josh Shapiro was asked. He was asked, do they have a point? The mobs, the pro-Hamas mob, yesterday in Chicago. And he said, look, I haven't heard specifically what they've said. I'm not going to try to duck your question. What do you mean? Does anybody follow up and say, are you kidding me? What do you mean? I haven't heard specific. I haven't seen their position paper on this. What's their point? We know what their point is. They hate Israel. They pretty much hate Jews. They don't want Israel to kill Hamas. They want to go back to this. They're flying flags. Shapiro went on to say, I'll address it. I think protesters are absolutely right to have their voices be heard, whatever the rules of the road are. Told Jewish Insider after speaking to the California delegation. They've got to follow the rules, but their voices should be heard, and they should be encouraged to exercise their First Amendment rights. Whether I agree with them or not is beside the point. No, it's not. President of the United States said they have a point. Do you agree? I think as a party, it's important that we welcome perspectives from all different walks of life, from all different areas. And I look forward to hearing their perspective. This guy is beyond, even for his reputation. He doesn't know what their point might be. All right, here is, at least from CNN, the IVF stuff, trying to clarify the difference. Did Walz get caught up in something again? Here's what they said.
Now, that's not accurate, right? I mean, it wasn't IVF. It was a different procedure, and his wife, Gwen Walz, the First Lady of Minnesota, is taking care to tell CNN that they actually used a procedure called intrauterine insemination. IUI. It's a process she described as an incredibly personal and difficult experience. They did use fertility treatments. It wasn't IVF.
Any woman who's gone
Sergeant Major.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. I want to.
Any one of the 1 in 7 women who goes through fertility treatments, IUI is part of the suite of fertility treatments. It's a step below IVF. It's direct insemination versus creating embryos. I think that is a stretch to say that it's not part of the broader fertility treatment.
The way they explain it is he just talks like how regular people talk.
I mean,
oh, God.
First of all, my wife did IUI not once but twice, and then we did IVF not once but twice, trying to have a child. And so as a father of IVF babies or whatever, yes, I would call. I mean,
you're not winning if you're making
You would.
All right, here's the thing with this guy again, Dan, what I think. I think he's saying IVF because he knows he's going to hold that against Republicans in Alabama. And he's not held to the standard. Look, he's not a dummy. Well, to be determined. But the procedure they used, instead of saying, yeah, we used a fertility procedure, say that.
It's a very important distinction when it comes to the topic of abortion.
Yeah.
Because IUI, from what they're saying here, is that the embryos are they're not taking out of the female. So so a lot of the discussion about IVF is, when you have IVF, what happens is you take the eggs out and there's a potential for those embryos to die, and then do those embryos have the right to life? Whereas IUI, what's happening is you're taking the male product and it's inseminating the female. With the eggs already there, so there's no chance of those, from my understanding, being out of utero and losing
I think you clarified that greatly. But I also think the political thing is he wanted to say IVF, because of the idiots in Alabama who were engaged in this. He didn't want to go the distance of just saying, well, we had fertility treatment. How in the world could you be against that?
You're 100% right.
That's what he's doing, and he got caught again.
Yeah.
And they covered
because he knows that nobody in Alabama is going to have an issue with IUI. It's the IVF that they're going to have an issue with, even if he didn't do it. It's a lie.
Right. It's another lie, and they cover for him by trying to make us, oh, you guys, are you really going to stick to that? Oh, my God. And Dan just distinguished a big difference there between these two things. Just say fertility treatments. So, and you got a leg up in this conversation. And again, I get it. We have to pay for the sins of these maniacs on this. That's the way I see it. And the media is going to run with that forever, and they're going to cover up for this guy. So he speaks tonight. God only knows the type of how many foods will he mention tonight, do you think, Dan?
Cheese curds.
How many food references will there be? Apparently, Dan, he was also lying about the football stuff, saying he's head coach and he was the defensive coordinator. I don't care, but it's a constant pattern of this stuff with the guy.
Like I had a friend that, well, he wasn't really a friend, but it was a kid that I knew in Indiana. We were juniors in high school, and he moved to town from Florida. And he told us all this great stuff about how he's a great, well-known football player in Florida, and he just talked himself up. And it all came out that this kid was an absolute liar, and he was just trying to convince everyone, set a great first impression. And then once people blew him up, he became a joke. And I see the exact same thing happen to this VP candidate, where the guy's trying to set a good first impression with all these, what he thinks are improvable lies, and now he's just getting blown up in his face, and he's going to become a joke, and now he's out here he's looking like a cartoon character coming on
The only
stage.
thing is, you didn't have that kid in Indiana didn't have the Praetorian Guard of CNN and MSNBC jumping in and saying, you're bullying him. So what? He caught a touchdown. All right, maybe he was in a game. Maybe he was a football manager. Maybe he said the word football. Maybe he can spell football.
Oh, man.
You really distinguished that well, Dan. We ought to wire that over to CNN and ask them to play it. Couldn't they have done a public service there? That woman jumping into the ring. Oh, males don't know what they're talking about. It's all the same thing. You made a big point of why it's not. He knows it's not. Just say, we had fertility treatment. Thank God. Science, that this works. And I'm in agreement with that. All right, 855-839-1210. You jump on board. Is he going to say tonight, Sergeant Major reporting for duty at the beginning of his speech? Let's see if he dares say it. I don't think it's folksy. I think Kamala Harris's husband, Dan, I don't know if you saw that part. Roe liked him a lot. I thought it was passable. He seems like he could deal with what I think is a difficult diva lifestyle there, but he wasn't bad. I mean, after seeing some of the other stuff, God. All right, jump on board. Hit us on the side question, too. And if you have knowledge in that field, I think Dan distinguished it properly. Why lie about it? Well, because that's what this guy does. It makes a resume. He's a football coach. He likes to eat all kinds of food. He loves China. All right. I love Captain Chucky's. There's no dispute of that. You can check the box how many straight weeks we have Captain Chucky's. And Roe, particularly, is a fan of that new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. Mm-hmm. But Captain Chucky's is always adding great stuff. Right now, the all-new Wild Shrimp Scampi Ravioli. Chucky's teaming up with Vera Pasta, offering lobster, crab, and now the Wild Shrimp Ravioli. That Bang Bang Crab Cake is a delicious, creamy 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick for those who like to spice it up with some heat. But Chucky's has you covered as we head into maybe you're going to be entertaining, football, watching coming up, whatever it might be. Desserts, appetizers, various salads, the Dom roll, 7 big crab cakes. Maybe it's even more now, breaded and non-breaded. Literally a crab cake for everybody. And that shrimp, that Gulf shrimp, it's a star. Always wild caught, never farm raised. There's a Captain Chucky's near you wherever you're listening. Just visit the website, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. You'll find it, the hours, the foods, and everything else. WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Still headed to the Jersey Shore. Visit CaptainChucky's at the shore.com.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is Thursday, September 12th. Be there as Dom Giordano talks to Donald Trump Jr. about the election, politics, and all things Trump. Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Got a roofing problem? Don't let it ruin your day.
Emmons Roofing and Siding offers professional roofing services, from repairs to complete lifetime warranted replacements.
And you can trust our experienced team to keep your home safe and secure. And we can even handle insurance claims for you.
Give us a call today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on the web at callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Free speech lives here with Don Stensland, 10 till noon on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
All right, you're with Dom here. Michael Waltz, 2:30 today. Dom's Money Melody, James Taylor tickets. Come on, Dan, spoiling all the fun today. I don't think this is a parody song. We'll play it in a minute, of James Taylor, who was bumped on Monday night. Dan immediately, that's a parody. I don't know. We should. Come on, it's too good, particularly the line about the Commerce Secretary bumped him. That's pretty funny. All right, we'll play that. But the Pritzker guy, the Batman villain, I'm just reading online. Apparently, as heirs to the Hyatt fortune, Dan, there are 13 other heirs who are also worth $1 billion or more. Oh, that doesn't seem right. What about those people? By the way, people have been asking, we haven't been at Mulligan's in a while because they were front-ended this year. You may remember we did one on July, Dom Giordano Day, and then we did one 2 weeks later because of July 4th. We'll be there again a week from this Friday, August 30th, sort of the end of summer. Summer never ends in my mind. I'm not going to autumn easily. That's over on Hildreth Avenue in Wildwoods. We'll have our usual great guests, great food, and even better people. It is a blast. And with the election and all that's going on, this is where you want to be with people you like. Just it's a summer White House. So hope to see you a week from this Friday, noon until 3. We'll probably be there around 11:30 or so. at Mulligan's, again, with Johnny Z, Dan there, Roe there, the whole gang there, one more time this year. Okay, Dan, let's hear the James Taylor song. Probably a definite parody. I can't see James Taylor mocking the Commerce Secretary, but Taylor bumped because of Biden running late. Here's the new song.
Just yesterday evening, they let me know I was bumped by somebody named Gina Raimondo. So I started screaming at the top of my lungs. You dirty bastards, how dare you? I'll set fires and I'll bring pain. I'll bend your limbs in ways that limbs should never bend. Create traumas your mind cannot comprehend. Bitch, you'll learn not to cross JT again.
All right, even though it's from the Colbert Show, Dan, I just like the line of the Commerce Secretary there and the fact that they bumped James Taylor. So if you ask the audience, come out, or it was a Twitter poll, you put it up for the audience there at the DNC. Do you want James Taylor for 10 minutes or do you want Joe Biden for 50?
Yeah.
By the way, shameless plug, though, product placement today, 2:13 when we do Money Melody, which seems to be a festival this week of songs in Finnish and other things that you'll have to name. You can win a pair of tickets to see James Taylor at the Mann Center in Philadelphia on August 30th.
I am going hard today, Dom, because I have a song that is written by James Taylor, originally recorded by James Taylor, but more well-known by being sung by another singer, right?
Okay.
And today we want to know the name of the song that's sung in Hebrew.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's getting harder every day. God. This is like, can you imagine James Taylor warming up? All right, I'm ready to go on. No. Biden's going long. We need you. Biden's got to go on now. He seems like just a really easy guy to work with. But, you know, I've been bumped before, and it's difficult, to put it mildly. I was on a Fox panel, Dan, can you imagine, with Jeanine Pirro and Gelman's wife. I don't know why Gelman's wife was on. And there was I had to go up to New York and do it, and there was a news development, and they just went with it. We came on for 5 minutes, and then we sat there for like 45 minutes, then it was over. I'll tell you this, Gelman's wife was not happy. It was quite a scene there, so interesting panel. All right, 855.
Curious your thoughts on this answer for the side question.
Go ahead.
We're asking, who, real or fictional, would you want as the CEO of your company? How about Lee Iacocca?
Lee Iacocca's an all-timer, turning around Chrysler. Yeah, that's a good one. A little blast from the past.
Another one? How about this one? George Costanza, but only if it's a latex company.
I saw that. Thought that was a pretty good line. Captain Kirk. William Shatner is one of the 10 best guests in talk radio to me.
Yes, he is.
I'm working on a side tomorrow, too. Did you see that Starbucks now, earlier than usual, my God, we're still in the middle of August, is releasing pumpkin spice.
Yes.
So I might want to do tomorrow, Dan, something that's decent or good, but less is more. Too much of it is annoying to people.
Decency.
So you're glad it's released now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I yearn for this time of the year, Dom, and I only would yearn for it if they took it away from me after the holiday.
So you can't wait until after Labor Day.
I have no self-moderation whatsoever.
Okay. All right. We might do that as a side question tomorrow. Be ready for that. Side question today. Hit us with that all-time CEO. 855-839-1210. You get in with Dom next on Talk Radio 1210.
Things coming my way this time around.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to him, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all
all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb. When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in. 855-839-1210. You get on board. Maybe the most just self-owned. Just, is there no irony watch here at the DNC convention last night? Michelle Obama again citing her mother. You know, saying, the mother saying, in life, if you don't like what's happening, do something. Do something about it. Here's how it sounded. Then you probably can figure out where I'm going to go about this. And shouldn't this be advice for Biden-Harris? Here's what Michelle Obama said last night. Yeah. Yeah, do something. Do something. That's what her mother's advice was. Do something about it. So think about it. This is the same thing with Harris last week. We saw on Friday the master plan put out there, and people saying, how about just showing us something during this period of time, the last month or two, or before? Why did you not do something about these corporations? You had years in which they were abusing us. Do something. Do something. They don't want to do anything. They always want the issue. They want it again and again and again. They want to take some kind of step in which they spend a lot of money, but they more want to preserve these issues. Here's one of them, and I don't have any sound to this, Dan. Here is Schumer last night. What did he pledge after he was kind of dancing the Macarena when he came out? He does that a lot. Schumer assured people in 2025 they will take away the cap on so-called SALT deductions. Now, SALT deductions are state and local taxes. So you know what the deal is here. If you're in Jersey, New York, places like that, California, there's a few of them. They run up these completely. And Dan, do you know, now that you moved to Jersey, you don't know yet what your property tax is, or do you know what it's going to be for next year?
I've been accounting for a wife. She handles all that.
Yeah, so you don't have any number at all? Maisie, ring the bat phone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
call us, Maisie.
She didn't tell you maybe because it's too startling.
She's hiding it from me.
She's hiding it. Yeah, I would too if I were in Jersey.
She knows I'll go on a political rant if she tells me.
We hear numbers that are, mind-boggling. So they're saying this has been capped in the Trump tax cuts. If the tax cuts are not reaffirmed, he's saying what we're going to do is it'll be unlimited again, that you apply that against your federal tax bill. Now, look, I feel for the people in New Jersey, people that won't move out of Jersey. I get it. It's place, it's home, family, food, the whole thing. These people that run places like New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, California, maybe a couple of others, they run up these, Philadelphia, the wage tax, they run up these unbelievable state and local taxes. And then they get some breathing room because you can apply it against the federal government. So why is it this is the tax that Schumer wants to get rid of? Well, New York. They want to continue getting all that money, brutalizing people with it, but having something to relieve the pressure. Now they don't. I'm not sure if it's capped at $15,000. Is that what it ended up with? Meaning you can't take any more than that towards your federal taxes. And in a place like New Jersey, and Dan, you made this point many times before, you were in Indiana. They didn't have enormous taxation locally, state. And yet you had beautiful schools.
We had an Olympic-sized natatorium, a pool, indoor pool.
Exactly. So New Jersey will say they have beautiful
8 gyms.
School, and many times that's not true. Why do they have these enormous taxes? Because of corruption, because of redistribution of income, and they're going to continue to tax you. That's what they're about. So they want relief so that people go, my God, look at property taxes. Just take a look at this. So 855-839-1210. Dan, you have to plead insanity now for the future, just like I do. I say that at every speech. I plead insanity. I still live in Philadelphia. Well, it's better now than under Kenny, but the taxation, I mean, last night in South Philly now, the police really have to take this personally. They have crews that are stealing 4 tires, the entire 4 tires off of cars. How quickly can these guys do this?
The NASCAR crews?
They must be. Apparently, 8 cars down in Johnny Dock country, like Front and Wolf down that way, in the last week or so. 8 cars have had all 4 tires taken. I think one vehicle, it's somewhere in the paper, they said the tires were worth $7,000. I can't believe it. 4 tires? What the heck are they driving? I think tires are what, the $200 range and under? It can't be $7,000. Imagine you come out, though, your entire car is on the ground, essentially.
They're quick, Dom.
Yeah, but I'm surprised in South Philly. I thought somebody would be listening. They'd be out there with a weapon. This isn't going to go on. To take 4 tires off?
With all the Ring cameras, there's no one that caught that on camera?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's been done about 7 or 8 times, they guesstimate. Wow. The boldness of it. You know, if you do that, you're asking for it. People down there have to be ready now. That, it's got to be some vehicle that comes up with guys that know what they're doing. I can't imagine. And what, Dan, on your vehicle, it's like mine. Can you imagine tires costing thousands of dollars total? That doesn't seem possible, does it?
Like, I'm so confused because you got to, if you're going to, on the street, take off 4 tires, that means you also have to individually jack each tire, right?
Yeah.
Or do you, how do you lift the car to get the 4 tires off?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. How quickly could you do that? It still seems like, there'd be noise, it'd be visible, car alarm, something. Yeah. 855-839-1210, you get on board. Big news today, too. Coming out of the Commerce Department, Bureau of Labor Statistics, that the Biden administration overestimated the number of jobs, in quotes, created. From March of 2023 to March of 2024, they overestimated by 818,000. Can you imagine? That's not a rounding error. We were close. So where's this fabulous job market they're creating? Where is that exactly? So, Dan, people are calling in. I'm not sure what the heck happened here. Is it something about tires?
Yeah, I don't know.
The cost of tires? I may be off on this. I don't picture $7,000. That's a figure I saw in the paper, though. All right, let's go to Richard in Westchester.
Maybe they're calling in because I got some stuff wrong about IVFs.
Well, Richard in Westchester tweeted at us and does have information on this. Dan, I think you made the layman's point perfectly. Wouldn't the media be doing... Look, we don't have to make it the end of the world with Walls here with this. But it is, by any reasonable standard, a pattern with this guy. They want to bash Republicans because of this moronic stuff, in my view, in Alabama with the Supreme Court and all that with IVF. So he goes there, even though it wasn't as drastic, if I can use that, or as involved as IVF is with where the debate on life is. It was much different. Let's go to Richard in Westchester. Here on Talk Radio 12.
Practicing doctor himself.
Yeah, he's practicing doctor. So, Richard, what do you say about this for layman? What can you tell us?
Actually, my daughter-in-law just went through in vitro fertilization, and it's quite involved because it's a minor surgical procedure to extract the eggs from the woman. Then outside the body, you have to then obtain some sperm, and then you have to try to get it to fertilize outside the body, which is certainly unnatural.
And I'm going with your point, Richard, what the media could say. Come on now. You can't mix these two things up. You even have to do a form of surgery.
They're vastly different.
Yeah.
And then you have to re-implant. Hopefully, if there's a fertilization and you get an embryo, you're lucky enough, because they all don't take. You have to re-implant it, and then the woman has to take hormones for the rest of the pregnancy. So and they're injectable hormones. So my daughter-in-law was taking shots a couple times a day. So, and IVI, or it's artificial insemination. So it's what they call the turkey baster. So it's much less involved. I mean, it's a form of, for people who have problems, but it's a much less involved procedure. That's it.
So when it comes to the political debate over abortion, a lot of what we're hearing down south and the banning of IVF is a lot of the frustrations come from the fact that embryos are taken out of the womb and some are left to perish. So with this other, way of doing this, that's not the same case here, right?
Absolutely not. No, because you're still doing the fertilization in the natural environment, the inside the woman. You're not doing it in a petri dish.
Got it.
That's not mixing it up. This guy knows where he was going. He had an instinct. He's going to bring IVF in as a marker here, and he's thinking, I'll get away with it. He's thinking, Richard, it's a lie, but it's not that much of a lie. Yes, it is. It's very much different. And again, this is, even for the media, this is a chance for them to jump on something and do a public good talking about this a little bit, while also saying, this guy should say I misspoke.
May I just say one more thing about Josh Shapiro?
Yes.
Again, as a Jew, I look at these people and I look at him as a traitor, because there were certain people in the camps in Europe in World War II that were called kapos. Now, these were Jewish prisoners who were used by the Nazis to guard the prisoners, and they were commonly quite hated and quite sadistic. And that's how I see Josh, as a traitor to his people.
Well,
to do everything to demean himself in such a way to try to get a job as a vice president. Is it really that important to you? Are you that bloodthirsty for this office? It just is sad.
Yeah, it is. And particularly, Richard, a guy that sharp absolutely knows what that mob wants and what they're saying.
Absolutely.
So let's hope the media, this was Jewish Insider that pressed him a little bit on. Let's hope the media, we'll see, do they continue to ask this or do they scoff at it? It's a real thing. His party has significant numbers of people that are just anti-Semites, and they're pretty blunt about it. Who's your CEO? Who would you want running your company?
I like George Bailey of It's a Wonderful Life. He's responsible. He's a good man. He's a family guy, and you can count on him.
That is a good one. That was one of my favorite characters. 855, favorite scene, Dan? Do you like It's a Wonderful Life?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say you hadn't seen it, like The Godfather. I was going to go, oh, man.
Yeah.
My favorite scene is when Donna Reed has the wedding money and jumps up with it in the savings and loan to give it out to people so they can remain open, and that's how they do it. Boy, what a sacrifice. Yeah. All right, we got somebody on the tires coming up, what they're really after. Okay. We may have overlooked something here.
I think that's really what set people off. He's on Twitter. We got some people as well saying similar.
Well, the 7,000. I'll go to Carlo now in South Philly. All right, Carlo, what is it they really want?
Hey, Dom, how you doing?
Good.
I was explaining that when they come in, they take the tire and the rim. So them rims, like on an SUV, are about $1,000 each. Then
wow. Wait a minute. Now, the $1,000 each for the rim on the SUV, and that's not anything elaborate, right? It's just run-of-the-mill, you're thinking?
Or is it like a custom
alloy?
alloy?
A regular, it's an alloy rim.
Right.
So I know when you get them insured, they tell you how much it costs if you crack a rim. And, it's worth paying another $100 on top of your, not your lease, but on your whole bill, for insurance on them. So you figure 4 rims at $4,000.
Okay.
4 tires are $400. At 16, it's 56 right there. So we're close to the 7,000, and that's probably on, say, like an SUV, an Infinity or something like that. But what I was saying around here in South Philly, near the stadium, they go after the catalytic converters on the older cars.
Yeah.
So one of the tricks they do is they come down the street, they blast music real loud. And you just think it's some nuisance that's blasting music. What they're doing, they're drowning out the sawzalls and the pneumatic guns that they're robbing the cars on. They got a crew underneath the car that's cutting out the sawzall while the music's playing. You're yelling at the guy, lower the music, and by the time you shut the window and call the cops, they're going with your catalytic converter or tires, whatever they want. So,
but taking 4 tires off, you think these guys are like NASCAR. I mean, I get how hard it is, catalytic converter, but 4 tires just instantly? Wow.
I know. They got to jack the car up, so they got to work like a team to jack it up and get them off. But I had a tire stolen from underneath my SUV. They just cut the cable and pulled the tire off and left the cable hanging, and now they put them inside. When I first had an SUV, they used to have them underneath the car, and they just have like a rope on, not a rope, a wire rope. So now everything's inside. But they're slick and they're fast, and there's a market for all that stuff. So I wish the cops. I wish the cops were allowed to do their job, Dom. They're not. That's the problem.
I hear you. Thank you, Carlo, very much. All right, so the rims, Dan, that makes more sense. But still the ability to do this. And you know what this reminds me? A Krasner story. Remember those catalytic converters and all that, Dan, when they surrounded that place in Philadelphia? And who was it? It was the Bucks County DA, not the current, the previous. They did the whole police work, surrounded it. I think they worked with the Philadelphia police. And guess who wasn't involved and doesn't care about it? Larry Krasner, of course. Man, oh man. Yeah. Just the average SUV. What's so expensive about rims now? Okay, I've had this happen where you break the rim. I know it used to be expensive, but $1,000 each? That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm curious. Are we talking aftermarket? Are we talking the ones that come with? Because they're not going after hubcaps, but they're sport edition. There are luxury editions that have the all black rims that are now standard fare with the.
He seemed to think kind of standard fare.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. You know what? My gripe in this whole thing is when I haven't had to change a tire in a while, but when you change a tire and somebody's put it on with a gun and you don't have a gun, you're getting the tire off.
Yeah.
Easy on the gun when you're putting it back on. You don't want it to come off, but. You can't be jamming it in there. Have you changed the tire, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the manly things I can actually do.
Was it easy to get off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I in high school, I actually had custom rims on my car. I was really into wheels and tires, so I learned then how to change a tire pretty well. I'm curious, aren't there tire locks? You would assume that these custom rims that are coming from these dealers would have the tire locks on them.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Another thing people have to put up.
I guess they have the key, maybe.
Well, it's a good segue because coming up, Wall Street Journal, big story today. Fewer teens and young adults than ever want to drive. They just don't want to do it. They're fine with being driven or taking SEPTA.
Is that it?
What do you think it is?
E-bikes. I got a kid that lives in my neighborhood, rides his dang e-bike everywhere he goes. And
it's still not driving.
Says he has no desire to get his license just because he has the e-bike.
Yeah, but it's still not driving.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
How could you be
You can't pick up a date on the back of your e-bike.
Yeah. Well, that's right. You knock on the door, and then you're going to go walk to SEPTA. If I'm the dad, Dan, he's saying, get this guy out of here. Come on. Well, I like him. He's a Borowski. He's a really nice guy. Where's his car? Oh, we're going to take SEPTA. 855-839-1210. You get on board. Let me tell you about FanDuel first. You've heard me talk a lot about FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sports book. Well, we have something a little bit different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. So just visit FanDuel.com/DOM, D-O-M, to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
The Middle Thoroughfare Bridge has reopened to traffic in Cape May County. A judge rules the SS United States needs to move from its South Philly pier in 3 weeks. And Bryn Mawr College will be the second college in the area to provide free SEPTA rides for full-time students.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-6608. 800-515-6608. 800-515-6608.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to InvestorSchooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to InvestorSchooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's InvestorSchooling.com. This is Larry Sinus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, it is Dom time. Great side question. And I'll get back to this teens and driving because MSNBC brings on one of the Obama policy directors during their years, big-time doctor. Listen to this explanation why Tampon Tim got mixed up over the procedure here and called it IVF when it was something, I mean, you just heard Richard, you heard Dan. They were able to, it's clear to me he didn't get mixed up. They're giving him, of course, the obligatory, first of all, Dan, what country are we living in with these people? Are there still people out there that would mock someone that is using fertility treatments? Am I missing something? I'm sure there's a few clowns somewhere. But by and large, America is praying to God. Life. People can become parents. Science, all coming together. Where are all these people that would mock you? So you're going to hear the praise. Oh, this is a very difficult subject. They wanted to shine a light on it. No. The Wallses, I think, wanted to use this to go after Republicans on IVF and say they're knuckle draggers. Look at these people. It gets into abortion. It gets into everything else. So listen to the former Obama policy director that was brought in on MSNBC, her take on it.
IUI and IVF are accurately types of fertility treatments. They come under that broader umbrella. IVF involves a little bit more of kind of a medical procedure where you end up taking out kind of a person's eggs and you have that combined with sperm to create embryos, usually in a lab setting, and then put that embryo back into a uterus in order to hopefully facilitate a live birth and a pregnancy. That's the outcome of also IUI. You want a healthy baby from a pregnancy. And IUI is just a different type of procedure, not as much of an anesthesia or some of the things that I just mentioned with IVF, but it's still technically a procedure, Anna, and you have to actually do it under a doctor's supervision, and it's done in an office-based setting. And yes, when I talk to patients about these fertility treatments, they often say, oh, I saw my IVF doctor, or I got IVF, because you're right. It's technically different, but under the same umbrella. And faulting Tim Walz for it just obfuscates from the very obvious that we're talking about access to health care. And the irony is that any of these treatments are under threat from the plan that Vance and that Trump have put together along with Project
give me a
2025.
break. Go back to medical school. All right, that's part one. 855-839-1210. Dan, notice that there's a little bit of a difference. Now, the way Dr. Richard explained it and the way you broke it out in the beginning, there's a hell of a difference. It's at the core of the Alabama debate, and it's also procedures. You're taking it outside the body versus this other. Oh, it's done in a doctor's office. Here's part two.
Yeah, I mean, this line of attack, doctor, do you think it's something that most patients that you deal with have just confusion about just because it's so specific and it's, you know, three initials versus three different initials?
Oh, three different initials.
Absolutely. Listen, Jose, I can't stress this enough. Gwen Waltz coming out about this years after she had this treatment, which, by the way, like, obviously there's so many emotions coming out of that. She did that to try to reduce the stigma and educate people about what's on the line in 2024. It's not just access to these very specific treatments. It's access to reproductive health care and basic health care.
Abortion.
So I do think that this is not just one of several narratives, but it's unfortunate because patients, they didn't go to medical school like I did, Jose. They didn't try to understand what are the different types of treatments.
We're all dopes, lady.
They're all there to help a woman have a baby. That's the truth. This is a family that came forward.
Does anybody interrupt ever these people?
Pretty private because that's their right. And
Let
they wanted
me
to
in
do
there.
This to actually shine light on this issue. Instead of praising the Waltzes for having this moment, what we're doing is actually just, again, obfuscating from what's very obvious to me, because we're hearing many more stories here at the Democratic Convention about services being denied, healthcare being denied, and that's really what's at stake.
All right, here's what's...
Doctor?
Here's what's at stake, lady. Same thing again. We ought to be praising Tim Waltz for his fraud when it comes to the military service. No one is disparaging that. Not J.D. Vance, not Mike Waltz, who will be on 2:30 today. Held a news conference on national security and this guy and the Biden-Harris administration today. No one's doing that. You know what it's about. The lying, the usage of this to gain advantage. And the wife is an activist, the smell of the burning tire. She came out. She's into the game. So, doctor, let me ask you, Dan, you know the obvious question, right? Does the wife know the difference? So she let him go out there without clarifying, the wife I'm talking about, right? And, well, he doesn't know. He's a man. How would he know this? And we're supposed to put this guy in charge of anything complex as vice president, heartbeat away from the presidency. No, they got caught once again. No one is besmirching this. And again, in my view, these clowns in Alabama, I don't care, if you're on that side, sorry about that, but it's clownish. We have to pay for that sin. They're caught trying to bank shot into this big time, and they're lying about it. She said, it's a little bit more. It's still under the same umbrella, though, of fertility. Dan, a quick analogy. I need one there. I know. I throw a football maybe 40 yards versus Jalen Hurts throwing it the way that he did. It's so under the umbrella of throwing a football.
Are we really going back to this, Dom?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, of course. Can you imagine me running for office? I dare you to throw it 40 yards. Being caught up in this
football throwing.
Well, I thought it. No, you know what my excuse is? I thought it was the metric system. Dan said 40 meters or semi-meters to me. I don't like the metric system. Shouldn't we be talking about America going on the metric system versus can I throw a football 40 yards?
I like the, wow.
It's the Walls technique. It's easy to do.
Yeah.
We always should be praising the Wallses. Whatever lie they tell, we should be praising them. That's the point. And again, how many of these hosts, Dan? Now, you can do it gently, not the O'Reilly way or the way I sometimes do it. Whoa. Let's take point one here. Doctor, how is this a little bit? You have to do your research on this. Dan, it seems to me this is a lot more involved. When you're outside the body and doing procedures and going back into the body, you think you might remember that, right? And you might not say, IVF. If he said, I'd give him grace, Darren, if he said fertility treatment, something like that. That's kind of a umbrella, and it's technically correct. Mike, that's just a bunch of, didn't the one guy say that's just a bunch of abbreviations there? What's the difference?
Regardless of what my stance is on the issue, the facts are here. There's one procedure that takes embryos out of the body,
right,
in which some embryos perish. And there's another procedure in which the embryos are not removed from the body, so they have no risk of perishing.
Exactly. There's another point. It is. But they want to make it complex. This is what they want to do on I have a story here when the ads are running for Kamala Harris, when she was a DA, talk about she was smart, too. She prosecuted the violent offenses, but not the nonviolent. Well, she didn't prosecute the rape as a violent offense of an unconscious person, human trafficking involving sex acts with minors, assault with a deadly weapon. they want to have it both ways. She was tough, but she was smart. She was like Larry Krasner. She wasn't going to go after these things and make a big deal out of them. It's a constant game here. And that doctor said, well, it's a little more, doesn't the wife have anything to say? Ask her about it. Well, yeah, I know the difference. And you would think you would know this inside and out, whether this was IVF or not. You're the governor. You're going off to China. You speak Mandarin. You can't tell the difference between this. He ought to come back out and say, look, I misspoke on this. Here's what I was thinking. He's not going to do that. He's going to attack Republicans. Watch tonight. They don't care. I served 24 years in the military. They don't care we use fertility. They're against fertility. And they're also against aborting up to the moment of birth. Put those two things together. All right, more of your calls coming up. Don't forget the side question here. I think we have, Eric's wife went through this procedure. We'll hear what he has to say about it. It is notably different, what we're talking about here. They were going to shoehorn this in so they could attack Republicans. And I don't know how they got found out on it, but they did. Probably because they talked about it in Minnesota in a different way than they do now. This guy's going to keep on doing this. Dan, the interview I want to see, of course, Harris. But can you imagine a real interview with Walz? I'm sweating through the shirt just thinking what would be happening in here with this guy. I bet he's not so folksy if you start to push back on stuff. You know what I mean? He's a blowhard. And that's where it's going to go.
I can't think of one instance in which the guys actually talked about real issues.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Mr. Walz, the 4-3 defense versus the 3-4, which did you play and what are the advantages of both? I think we would see pretty quickly. 855-83. Yeah, 855-839-1210. You know, I've told you for years about my friend, dentist, and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. I was at Dr. Bentz's yesterday, and you get a sense of just exactly, with all the high tech he has, like that 3D printer, his great skill. The human element, though. And he was working with an 88-year-old patient, didn't speak English that well. It was a whole procedure when I came in. And he was thrilled to tell me about it when he was working on me, how every day he feels like he really, yesterday, helped this whole family out by what he was able to accomplish there. And I saw some of it actually live when I pulled in just to have, a little bit of cement taken off, that kind of stuff. I'm watching this unfold there. You see it a lot with Dr. Bentz. And if you have fear and anxiety, as this one woman did, this is the place to go. Even minor fear, anxiety about it, you will get just the greatest dental health. I also learned, Dan, and I told him, I don't know about that, though, Doc. Tells me that Norristown still has a massive Italian population. These people were from that area. I need to hear today if anybody verifies that or not. But Dr. Bentz is the best dental care I know of. You want to take dental care, you don't like what's going on now with your dental care, maybe you've been afraid of the dentist a bit, it's the Bentz Dental Group. Find them at Bentz, B-E-N-T-Z, dentalgroup.com. Call them now for that appointment today, 610-272-6949. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com. Tell them Dom G sent you, 610-272-6949.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The exclusive crash-proof retirement system is tried and true, outperforming the market through the worst of economic times, as it did for crash-proof consumer Larry Kipp. In 2007, Mr. Kip's crash-proof system earned 15.8% interest, outperforming the S&P. When the crash of '08 struck and the market dropped over 37%, his crash-proof system lost nothing. Mr. Kip did not have to recover from the crash. His system credited 10.8% interest permanently to his account, as others tried to recoup what they already had.
People talking about all the money that they lost, and I could sit there and say, well, I didn't lose any. I knew that I couldn't lose principal, and so when the crash came, I knew my money was safe. I would say that there is a crash-proof retirement. I have proof of it.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
At Tri-County Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get wholesale club pricing for everyone on the 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4xE. Or choose the 2024 Jeep Compass and lease for as low as $298 per month for 27 months. Go to TriCountyCDJR.com to see our great inventory. We're easy to find off the Limerick exit of 422. Visit TriCountyCDJR.com today for more details and experience the Tri-County difference.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
The Middle Thoroughfare Bridge has reopened to traffic in Cape May County. A judge rules the SS United States needs to move from its South Philly pier in 3 weeks. And Bryn Mawr College will be the second college in the area to provide free SEPTA rides for full-time students.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Our beautiful fall-like weather continues. It's going to be 75 today with mostly sun. We're going to see a lot of sun with maybe some clouds tomorrow, going up to 82. It'll be 85 on Friday with a little more clouds. 85 and 87 on Saturday and Sunday.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Protecting America. Fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano's show, 855-839-1210. The U.S. jobs report revised down by 818,000. That's a big news story today. You guys, we had some jobs. So what if we inflated it by 818,000 March 23 to March 24? That we know of.
Yes. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're just nuts.
Don't stop.
And this Walls guy is completely out of control. In their first defense, well, we ought to be grateful that the Wallses came forward. They were trying to show light on something that's frowned upon. That's my first angle of attack here. What America are these people living in? They pluck from this isolated example, and Republicans, if you remember, the legislature changed the law then. Trump and others came out against it, what they were doing in Alabama, but forever they're going to live off that. How about the excesses, which are many, of the Democrat Party that we see? Do they have to defend it? No, that's what the free pass is. But man, the Obama people ought to send on a better representative to defend Walls on this. Well, it's a little matter. It's a little bit different, what's been described here. Let's go to Eric in Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Eric, good afternoon.
Hey, I call a lot, but under a different name. I just don't want, because it's personal. But me and my wife went, and you can't just say the wife. It's a couple.
Yes.
If you don't know what IVF is compared to IUI, so let me just give you the background. So, you know when you get a seedless watermelon, and then you got all fruit, and then once in a while you have a black seed, a white seed, or whatever? That's me. I'm all fruit and no seeds. So that's why we had to go through IVF, because they extract the seeds from the male. First of all, you have to go to the hospital, and then you have to go to a room, and then give them, ejaculate in the cup and give it to them. So that's embarrassing. And then like, I will never forget seeing my wife laying on a table and then scraping her uterus to implant the eggs after, like, we got lucky with a couple. And then we had 2 because it was back in the day with Octomom. Remember, she did like 9 of them, and then she had 9 kids.
Yes.
Well, that ruined that whole thing. So they did it at a point where you could do up to 3 now. You can't do like an Octomom with like
8.
9.
Yeah, I think it was 8. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I got
8
your
or 9,
point.
yeah, 8.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Eric. So
I was never
you
good
know
at
what?
that.
I think we're really on to something here. Just exactly what you're saying. Dan had it. Richard, the doctor. How different this is. Why in
Tom,
the world
it's so
would you?
different.
Yeah.
It's so different. So, and the IUI, I think it's like people with ED. Like, they have sperm, they just can't get it to the destination. So they extract the sperm from the male, and then they use the tube, and then when the woman's ready, they put the sperm in. It's totally different. Like, I was all for voting for Kamala and Tim, even though I wanted Shapiro. I love Trump. I think he's great, but I'm a never MAGA cult. I won't vote for that side because of that. But Walz, like, how don't you know? Like, the tears in my wife's eyes, and then we had to abort at the end because the one baby kind of like faded away inside of her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one, Dom, I will never forget this. We go there to go get a heartbeat, and the nurse comes in and does the ultrasonic or whatever, and she can't find a heartbeat. Dom, I put my head down. I'm like bawling. My wife, she's like always positive, always positive. So then the doctor comes in, and he's like, "Oh, I found something." I'm like, "No, you didn't." He's like, "Yeah, come back next Wednesday, and if we find a heartbeat, that's great. If not, you'll have to go to wherever the place was and do an abortion." Like, they had to extract the baby. Like, I will never – forget that? Like, you forget that, go F yourself. You know what I mean? Lying about coaching is one thing, but this, like, hits home, man, because not only that, it costs, like, almost, like, $15,000 for IVF.
Well, I'm glad it finally worked for you, though. Eric, thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you. That's exactly what we ought to be hearing here. I mean, this is just for the media to cover. With Harris, they're covering by just not asking it. With Walz, he's blurting stuff out, and then they jump into the ring. You know, this reminds me of a little bit, Dan. Candy Crowley, we were at the convention. We were at the debate of Obama and Mitt Romney. And when Candy Crowley, listeners may remember, jumped into the ring about Russia being an enemy or not, and she had to verify with Obama, because Mitt Romney, surprisingly, had him on the ropes. It was from Denver. Man, when we were at the talk radio convention, all that, in the cafeteria, it was nuts with Candy Crowley. This is what they're doing. They're jumping into the ring and saying, not only are they defending Walz, they're attacking the rest of it. Would they attack Eric? Obvious stooge. How do you know that he wasn't making that up about his wife? Does that sound scripted? Yeah, nice work. He was an actor, right? Nice work. Yeah, we were able to pull. That's better than Hollywood. Give me a break. There is nothing they will stop at here. And this guy, Walz, is demented. Communist China, the lying about the military, just anything that you look up and down. And the wife is along for the ride. I'd like to smell the burning tires. Can you imagine? Instead of close those windows, you know, my God. Hey, Tim, why don't you do something about this? They're burning tires now. I want to smell them. 855-839-1210. It's Dan Time with Dom. Don't forget the side question, too, coming up. Hey, at Batteries Plus Bulbs in Mount Laurel and Northfield, my great friend Roy, the master fixer, the master of customer service, only has one issue, and I'm proud that we're helping to make people aware of his 2 stores of Batteries Plus Bulbs. He needs help. He needs some more people to be working there because of the demand. If you're a handy do-it-yourselfer, that would be ideal. It's a great low-pressure, part-time job, maybe full-time if it works for you. Customer service is the key, though. If you're willing to do what it takes to help, you need to talk to Roy. Be part of the team, as they say all the time at Batteries Plus Bulbs. They power it, they light it, and they fix it. Give them a call right now. 856-638-0778. I asked him, I check in with him periodically. He's a friend, not just somebody I talk about on the air. And I said to him, oh, what do you need? What's going on? And he sailed, and he said, no, I need help. And I'll train these people. They have any kind of sense at all. It's customer service. I want people that are going to work with people. Batteries plus bulbs. Don't forget, 2 big locations, Mount Laurel and Northfield. 856-638-0778.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
With NJ Diet, you can lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. They have customers that have lost 37 pounds, 100 pounds, and over 120 pounds, and they've kept it off. You'll have more energy, and you'll probably see better lab results. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to provide you personalized natural formulas and supplements so you can lose the weight, and DNA testing will help you keep it off. Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, contractually guaranteed. Go to njdiet.com.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet?
Not yet.
Do it today.
Okay.
At 1210 WPHT.
WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
With Dom.
That's right. It's that time of the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan Time with Dom. And Don Lemon making some waves on Twitter by offering up some honest reporting, it seems. It seems the guy is talking to so many people on the street and he just can't find anyone that supports the Kamala Harris campaign. So maybe he has no choice but to put out content like this. Here's a montage of Don Lemon speaking to women and their reaction when asked about who they support in this upcoming election. Take a listen.
I'm going for Trump. I feel like every time they don't want somebody who is good for us to win, they throw somebody black in our face thinking that's going to make us vote for the black person.
I voted for Obama because he was black. I don't want to vote for her because she's the first black woman to run for president or to win.
I don't vote.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I want Donald Trump.
Why do you apologize?
Well, I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with Donald Trump.
I'm running for Trump, so.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just always been a fan of his, so that's what I'm running for.
I used to be against Trump. I used to live in Virginia. I saw the bad side of it, but really moving to Cleveland, I saw the other side of it.
I'm supporting Trump.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Because?
Because it has to change. It has to change, and now I vote more for what fits me better as a person rather than voting for the black person or voting for the first woman. So,
What do you think about Kamala Harris?
I think they say she phony and fake, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, I'm like Trump saying, you know, what are you, you know? So I'm not feeling her. People get mad about it, I'm just not feeling her.
I don't like her the way she speaks, the giddiness, the laughing. Everything's a joke, and it's not a joke. We're in trouble.
I'm going for Trump. Kamala was on Biden's team, and I don't like Biden. Gas wasn't this high when Trump was our president. Food wasn't this high. I'm going for Trump.
Honestly, shocking to hear that from Don Lemon, putting something out like that, Dom, huh?
Well, the Atlantic City stuff was even more. Yeah, Don Lemon, if that had been, there are other people doing that, Dan, you'd say, they found 10 people that are black that like Trump.
Yeah.
But Don Lemon doing it.
What does he have
what's
to
the
gain in
motivation?
deceptively editing a pro-Trump video, you know?
Yeah.
You want some of the Atlantic City? I have some of the Atlantic City.
Yeah, let's hear a little of the Atlantic City with Don Lemon.
Here in Jersey, Atlantic City. Who do you support?
I'll plead the fifth.
Trump for the win. Tell me why.
I can't really call that right now, but I just feel like she's not good for president. She's good vice, but not for the actual lead role for the country.
Does it have anything to do with being a woman?
No. No, because I feel like women, nah, you're not going to give me that.
Your money's on Harris.
Yeah.
Who do you want?
Trump.
Why don't you like Harris?
Oh, she don't have any experience.
She's the vice president. She's a senator.
Yeah, no experience. No. She has no experience.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I just feel we need somebody that has a stronger background with the military. And
Goes back to her, though, but some pro-Trump stuff on the Atlantic City Boardwalk, which is also strange to hear because you would think, you know, there's a lot of people in Atlantic City who have personal relationships with Trump that were negative, but
Exactly.
even there, a
Yeah.
lot of people there on the boardwalk pro-Trump. Love to hear it.
Don Lemon surfacing again. Good stuff. Anything else?
That's all I got for Dan Time.
All right, that's Dan Time with Dom today. Coming up, J.D. Vance, and this is just breaking, open up on another front, and it's the biggest legacy of Trump that I say all the time. J.D. Vance, I think in North Carolina, is saying Kamala Harris is going to walk us right into nuclear war. I'll ask Mike Waltz, decorated Green Beret, retired colonel in the National Guard, about national security, Biden-Harris right now. Trump's greatest legacy to Republicans is, think about this, I know it seems like a million years ago, when he started to criticize the Iraq war and then Afghanistan and Biden, these unending, unceasing wars. I was in the Oval Office when Trump had those Congress people come in, trying to convince him to put more military in Syria. He resisted, wasn't going to do it no matter what. But why would they get killed? For who? For what in that? So Trump's position of staying out of that stuff, but flexing through other means our power and the fact that Trump's a wild card, I think that's going to be seen as his greatest legacy, greater than anything else that happened. If we remember it, what it was like Bush's Republican Party. So we'll lay out a little bit of that. Mike Waltz, great tickets today, too. James Taylor, tickets at 2:13 today. By the way, Rich Cioli is in Chicago for the convention, and at 5:30 today, to break down all the craziness there, Don Trump Jr. will be on with Rich. And we'll get a bird's eye view, too. He's coming with us on September 12th, of course, to the big event over in Collingswood, New Jersey. Get your tickets at 1210WPHT.com. Don't forget, if you went to the website before and you were deciding, there's a huge discount right now. Huge is the word for Trump and this discount. You'll be pleased. You'll get your tickets, 1210WPHT.com. And we'll have a chance, only 2 days after the debate, to be with Don Trump Jr., taking you inside all this stuff. And you get the Trump book, Letters to Trump. All right, big 2 o'clock hour straight ahead. Talk Radio 1210.
The following is a paid commercial message.
President Biden's big inflation problem is still here. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported, quote, more working Pennsylvania families are struggling to make ends meet. But instead of helping us, Senator Bob Casey backed President Biden's disastrous agenda. Casey voted with Biden 98% of the time, including for trillions in wasteful spending. All of that Washington spending made inflation worse, making families pay more. If that wasn't enough, Casey also voted repeatedly in favor of higher taxes on Social Security benefits. That's right, Senator Casey voted in favor of higher taxes on seniors' benefits, leaving seniors with less money in their pockets. Higher taxes for seniors and higher prices for everyone. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act, paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
It's the start of another school year. Get your child or grandchild started off right. Special tutoring and custom instruction is available from METC, the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. Now is the time to call Kathy Ganna and help get your child out of the gate strong. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
They say money doesn't grow on trees, but at First Harvest Credit Union, we can help you grow your financial future with our growth savings account. You can earn as high as 3.5% annual percentage yield while enjoying flexible access to your funds. Visit firstharvestcu.com or your nearest branch to get details and open a growth savings account and watch your money grow. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Gonna dig a hole in your backyard? Call 811. Don't be caught off guard, cause PA1 Calls got your back to help locate those utilities stacked.
Play it safe and do your part so no one in the neighborhood's house goes dark.
But if you don't, and there's an outage, you might have to deal with some screams and shouters, cause ain't nothing worse when your toilet won't flush, your lights go out,
or when your pipes bust.
Yeah, your neighbors are gonna love you. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. Help us at 50 and 5. More at PA1Call.org.
Labor Day signals that fall is fast approaching. Apple picking, fall leaves, and chilly nights are on the horizon. With Legacy Box, you can cozy up and watch something special this fall. Your family's home movies. Legacy Box is the simple, safe, all-inclusive solution for preserving your family's memories trapped on videotapes, film, even photos. After 10 years in business, Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer. They've helped over 1 million families relive their wedding days, babies' first steps, and family road trips. Just fill Legacy Box with your VHS tapes, film reels, or pictures. Legacy Box digitizes it all by hand right here in the USA, and then sends it back on a thumb drive or the cloud. Future-proof your recorded moments today so you can gather the family and begin the trip down memory lane. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering 55% off. Go to legacybox.com/value to get 55% off. That's legacybox.com/value.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time at 2:30. We'll talk with former Green Beret, now Congressman Mike Waltz, decorated combat veteran. And it's not just about Waltz, military service. It's about China. But he did a national news conference today as a point person for Trump around national security currently with President Biden and also Kamala Harris going forward. And I'm watching now, by the way, in North Carolina. This is Trump's first outdoor rally since the assassination attempt. You know, and I don't know how we'll know this, but you would think the Secret Service would be on just the top of the line for whatever they can do to protect Trump in this situation. But I still have doubts about them. They're another organization It doesn't have the urgency. We've seen this. We've seen it in the testimony. So it's going to be interesting today. I believe, are you watching it, Dan? There is like a bulletproof glass. I thought, is he still over top of that, though? Or are you going to see him through glass? And see, I don't know that the Trump people were on board with this. I guess they have to. I even resent this. You mean to say we can't protect the president where we got to put him in bulletproof glass? In this situation, it looks like it would extend. That's up pretty high.
Yeah.
You see the part to the right? That's up pretty high where it would be over his head.
I think the best way to describe it is what it looks like is if you go to like a big church and they have a band, they have the drummer in that little glass booth to kind of dampen the sound. Or if you go to a concert, there's a drummer. That's kind of what it looks like Trump will be speaking inside of. I'm assuming it's bulletproof glass.
It is. Well, it was said it's going to be bulletproof.
Wow.
But we're reduced to this where entirely the former president and could-be president has to be inside bulletproof glass. So you can look at this and say, well, come on, Dom, we want ultimate protection. That's the way it is. Or is this another sign that this is what the Secret Service is reduced to? Even with all the modern technology, all the other things that go in. Now, the Butler people, Butler, PA, they're already, the locals are saying, hey, this is an outdoor thing, Trump coming in October when this will be at a fever pitch. We're going to have to publicly say to the Secret Service, we need coordination here. Really, this can't be like before. So the first outdoor rally since the assassination attempt, and what are we looking at here? We're looking at bulletproof glass, and I think Dan's right here. Some of it is a little bit lower, but the part where he's going to be speaking from looks to me like he'll be kind of encased in it. That's embarrassing. It really is that we're reduced to this. Now, will this continue? Who knows? I haven't seen any other public figure. I don't know if Walls Harris, well, I don't know if they're doing outdoor events. I guess they will. Is this going to be the standard now going forward with the Secret Service? President Trump will be pitching his national security plan. And I told you what I think the single biggest thing that I put my finger on, if you can remember back, say, to 2015, so we're doing 9 years ago, when Trump came on the scene, there was a lot of debate. We were coming off the Bush years, Iraq, these unending wars, and Trump was different than the other Republicans, saying he wasn't going to engage in this. It wouldn't be unceasing. That's the way that it would be. That's a big difference. And witnessing it, Dan Crenshaw was one of the guys coming in. I'm in there with 4 other talk show hosts, one of whom Trump said to the woman host, Dan, that you know, Mary Walter, sit over here. This is the chair I put the dictators in. It was pretty funny in front of us. Then these guys come in, and he goes, well, these guys are going to have to wait. I'm with the really important people, the talk show host here. And I'm going, oh, let me dive under the couch. Please, no. And there were like 40 of them suddenly crammed into the room, all coming. This is like 6 o'clock at night or something. All coming to try to convince Trump to put hundreds of more military people in harm's way in Syria. And he told them, and you can talk, I'm not doing it, with us right there in front of him.
That's fascinating.
He may have said to us at one point, I'm like, oh, my God, what do you guys think? Oh God. Put him in there. No.
World-changing decisions, though.
And Dan Crenshaw there. And he says, we're the important guys, and Crenshaw's there right next to me, Dan, too, with the eye patch on. I remember there was like a lamp. I was standing there, and he was standing there. I was like, I'm cringing, you know?
Say our captain?
Yeah. But this is the mark of Trump, a legacy here. And by projecting strength, by using other things behind the scenes, now, I don't like some of the stuff he says with Putin, but behind the scenes, it's a truism. Putin didn't invade then. Harris, what in the world has she said about national security? What would she do? And we're going to hear stuff that will be both vague, gibberish, and weak. You know that's what it's going to be, particularly with Iran. The idea of we can play ball with Iran. All right, 855-839-1210. We know Walls, how weak he is when it comes to China. And again, Trump doing this today in North Carolina, a lot of military, Fayetteville, places like that. she's not going to lay it out. She hasn't laid out any of that. The one disastrous last week was price fixing. What is Harris going to say? I know how they're going to picture it. Well, I'll be tough, but I'll be smart. Same thing as when she was DA. I'm a prosecutor. I know how to go after the bad guys of the world. Okay, let's hear how you're going to do that. Americans now, it's pretty clear to me, do not want military intervention. They're tired of what we've lost. They're tired of the roads that we've gone down. And what's the name? Vance was there in advance of Trump today talking about the nuclear threat and how Trump has prevented any. The guy that they said had his finger on the button. No way. 855-839-1210 will get you on board. Also, the side question today, hit us with somebody you want to be the head of the CEO of your company. I forget how we happened on it, but we're getting some pretty good ones on Twitter. Really, the star thing today that and I have to tip off, this is the best of talk radio. What they don't get about talk radio. We heard Dan distinguish in the way the media is not, that Walls is way overboard lying in saying that he had IVF treatment with his wife to produce 2 girls. Just not true. He had something completely different that is much more minor. We heard Eric, a dad who actually went through this, and we heard Richard, a doctor. So here we go again. And what does the media do? They try to jump into the ring, muddy the waters, and say, here go those Republicans again. They're besmirching this guy's military record. Yeah, Mike Walsh is going to do that in about 15 minutes here, and it's legit. And now they don't understand how difficult it is to come out and talk about this, and they're going to besmirch his family in this matter. These people are just awful. You may have missed the top of the show, though. Before we do Dom's Money Melody, the money for me today, Dan, is cut 9A, and I wanted to make that point one more time when it comes to hypocrisy. Here's Mrs. Obama last night. And Dan, yes, usually I don't do this to Ro. We're both watching it together. Ro had to hear this point, and she conceded pretty quickly because she knew there was going to be no let up here. The worst points of people like Mrs. Obama, channeling her mother last night. She said the mom was suspicious of those who are greedy. They want too much money in their life. When is it enough? Leave some for somebody else. And then I'll give you some of the stats on the Obamas of their wealth. Here's what she told us last night, attacking Trump and attacking people who don't want to give back.
I wasn't even sure if I'd be steady enough to stand before you tonight. But my heart compelled me to be here because of the sense of duty that I feel to honor her memory and to remind us all not to squander the sacrifices our elders made to give us a better future. You see, my mom, in her steady, quiet way, lived out that striving sense of hope every single day of her life. She believed that all children, all people have value, that anyone can succeed if given the opportunity. She and my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. They understood that it wasn't enough for their kids to thrive if everyone else around us was drowning.
All right, so I don't see many life preservers coming from the Obamas. More than they need. So the Obamas are worth, according to Forbes, several other sources today, in the neighborhood of $70 to $75 million. What we do know is they own 3 homes that are all valued at $10 million plus. Now, that's America. They parlayed, quote, public service career, presidency, and all that, big time, into all of this, books, Netflix, wide array of things, speeches, $250,000, $500,000 a speech. That's capitalism. It's great. Knock yourself out. So who is it that has more than they need? Do the Obamas have more than they need? Do you think anybody is ever going to ask them that question? And I could see Obama particularly bristling. Michelle Obama, God knows what she would say. They're never going to be asked anything. They have license to continue on this path of lecturing people like Trump or any American and setting some kind of metric about what you need and giving back. When they're worth $75 million in 3 homes, how much time do they actually? Well, Phil Murphy over in Jersey is another example, lecturing. He's got a villa that he apparently in Italy is there 2 weeks a year, $7 million villa. Is that excessive? It's not for me to count. Springsteen in town tonight, the working class hero, $1.1 billion plus he has. Is that excessive? Might that ease some of the misery he talks about, these tank towns in Jersey? Any of these people, you lose the right. And Dan, your line was, if you have your private chef, then you got to shut up.
Yeah, if you have a private chef, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's...
No comment about paddleboards, just private chef.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. All right, so we'll give you more with Mike Walsh at 2:30. But right now, we're excited. And thanks to Walter Kosk for putting this together. Since James Taylor was bumped the other night, we have a pair of tickets to see James Taylor at the Mann Center. And Dan, you're going to torture them a little bit. There's a little hurdle each day.
Great today.
Each day it's a little bit more. Go right ahead.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Yeah, Dom, so through this entire ticket giveaway, we've been playing songs written by James Taylor, sung in a different language. And I gave 2 pretty easy ones, Caroline in My Mind yesterday, and Sweet Baby James on Monday. But Dom, today we're going to go for a deep cut, one that actually wasn't made popular by James Taylor. So back in 77, James Taylor, similar to Beyonce, wanted to kind of offer a foray into the world of country and wrote a song that was later covered by a country artist, and that country artist's cover is what made the song go big. But Dom, this song was initially released as a B-side to a much more popular James Taylor song, and today we're going to cover it in Hebrew. So Dom, we want to know the name of this song that's written by James Taylor, made popular by a country artist, that appeared as a B-side to one more popular song. We want to know the name of this song written by James Taylor, sung in Hebrew. Take a listen.
גם אני צריך בית חמים שישאיר אותי בחיים.
What's the name of this band?
He's good, right?
Yeah.
Mayor Cohen is his name.
Okay.
אלוהים שלא אפול שוב על הקרשים.
Should I give the artist's name that covered it, that made it big? Or you think that's enough clues?
Let's take at least one guess. Because this is going to be difficult. If they get this in the first guess, that's improbable today. We'll see, though. All right, hit us with that. You're off to see James Taylor. I'll give you more of a sense. I'm watching Trump behind the glass now, Dan. This is as bad as the netting at ball games, which I've kind of gotten used to. I don't know about you. You know, for foul balls. This is ridiculous. This is an embarrassment to the Secret Service. It really is. 855-839-1210. Hit us with that, and we'll send you off to see James Taylor. Straight ahead, let's get a winner.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Thanks, Rich Santaro, who said Mama's.
Yes, Mama's on Belmont. That thing had to weigh 12 pounds. Not me, the steak sandwich.
By the way, speaking of that talk, Thomas wrote us last night, and he said, can you please do something about the high schoolish attempt at humor on the morning show?
Oh.
I try to listen, but it's so much like Beavis and Butthead that I changed the channel. We'll stop. We'll get more.
Never me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Hey, if you're looking for riveting radio, Mark Levin will be up in about 12 hours.
Oh,
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
When their world isn't safe, they need someone to notice, to wonder and worry, to be their voice. If you suspect child abuse in any way, report it. You can be their hero. Your call can change their world.
Report suspected abuse by calling 1-800-932-0313 or visit keepkidssafe.pa.gov for more information. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
We don't care who you vote for in the upcoming election. You know why? Because this is not a political ad. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group meet with people every day wondering if they should be doing something different with their money because it's an election year. At Retire Ready Financial Group, we want you to know where your money is, how it's performing, and if the market does go down, how does it affect your retirement? We call it a portfolio snapshot, and we do it at no charge. Our goal is for you to have confidence as you enter retirement, confidence to spend, and confidence that you won't run out of money. Let's vote those election worries right out of your retirement. For your complimentary portfolio snapshot, call 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or go to retirereadyfg.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC. NPN number 2083768.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Yo, Roy is Ford. What? We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
Show me the money.
Yeah, that's right. Every day, Dan goes into the laboratories out here, and today, because the prize is so big, this is particular. Let's hear the clue. This is in Hebrew, Dan, and we're looking for, again,
the name of the song that's written by James Taylor, made popular by a country artist. Take a listen.
אני הברמן שלך, וזה לא מבחירה, לצערי הכסף כאן מדבר. אני פוגש פרצופים, הרוב על הפנים, אנשים עם הגב אל הקיר.
All right, let's go to Bill in Downingtown. Is he going to be over there seeing James Taylor? Bill, what's your answer today?
Is that going to be, you can close your eyes?
No.
All right. Good
Sorry,
try.
man.
Good try. Dan, you want to give another clue?
Yeah, the artist that made it popular is George Jones, country artist. Made it to 6 on the top 10 charts back in the day. And it's the B-side of Handyman, Dom. So it's not Handyman, but it's the B-side of that single.
John in Springfield. John, what's the song?
Yeah, that is Bartender's Blues by James Taylor.
Wow, I'm impressed. Nice work, Dan. Do you think we'd get it on just a second call? That's really good.
I am impressed.
That's got to be a James Taylor fan, big time. I'd headed off to see James Taylor. He won't be bumped this time. Joe Biden won't be there. Pair of tickets to see James Taylor at the Mann Center, Philadelphia, on August 30th. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. And tomorrow we'll have it again, and also on Friday.
Cool little fact about the original recording by James Taylor of this song. We hear George Jones in the background, but James Taylor, I'll throw on right now, singing backup vocals, Linda Ronstadt.
Ah.
Yeah.
You know who she was the girlfriend of? What political figure?
Who's that?
Why am I blanking on his last name? Not Jerry Jones is coming to my head. The governor of California.
Jerry Brown.
Jerry Brown.
Yeah.
Who I once got an exclusive interview with in a weird way. There was a listener, her last name was Quirk. She was great, liberal, but loved the show, set me up to do a national hookup, and Jerry Brown and I were arguing about welfare. This is when he was a big thing. I didn't get to ask about Linda Ronstadt. It's a strange combination there. Jerry Brown, yeah. Better governor than Gavin Newsom. Hair not as good. By the way, Newsom, I think, put extra gel to Chicago. In the interview the other night, it was a skyscraper. I mean, it was impressive.
It was impressive.
It was very impressive, yes. Okay.
Stay away from a flame.
President Trump is holding his first outdoor rally since the assassination test in Asheboro, North Carolina, talking national security. Oh, boy. He's saying we have the real generals and the fake generals who did so poorly in Afghanistan have all been fired. He likes Keith Kellogg as a real general. All right. So we'll ask Mike Waltz about this at 2:30 today. But, Dan, you're seeing it now. Is this not an embarrassment? I better safe than sorry. How much can you say better safe than sorry? That means, well, then don't do any outdoor events then, right? You mean to say the Secret Service at this event could not guarantee the security of President Trump, that it's come to that?
I kind of like it from a political standpoint.
And what's the politics
It's
of
a
it?
constant reminder that this guy was shot at when they continued to try to memory hole his assassination.
So you think that's what Trump is after by agreeing to it?
I don't know if it is. I think he's concerned about safety, but I think if you look at it from that perspective, it is. I mean, you can't ignore the fact when this guy is surrounded by glass panes that there is the fear of him being shot at again.
Okay, that's one angle. I would agree. That's a political angle. My angle is, how do you work? What do you think they're sitting around, the real Secret Service people? Are they saying this group is a joke now? That this is what it's come to? Are we going to see this in the future, that you have to put the president, former presidential candidate? Is it just Trump? That they have to be put inside, it's like a box kind of here, across the stage, of bulletproof glass. This is the first that I remember. Now, presidents used to ride Kennedy in open vehicles. I get the dangers of that. We've seen it, right? You really can't protect there no matter what you do. So they ride in a presidential vehicle now that is the beast. It's pretty hard to attack it anyway. And I get that. That's rightfully so. We want due caution here. But does this mean, Dan, let's say President Trump, we hope, is reelected, right? Does that mean when he gives the inaugural address, he will be in bulletproof glass? Is that what the Secret Service is saying?
Well,
I mean, because I've been there. I covered the Obama inaugural, and there were a lot of people. I mean, I would say the crowd size, there were 1 million people there by any standard, and there are too many places to cover. So is that going to be the rationale? 855-839-1210. There are two camps in this, or three. Dan's angle that, yes, makes a political point that Trump was shot. We seem to have lost that. We still don't have the full report on any of this. Other angle, well, better safe than sorry. Third angle, you mean to say, I mean, the crowd there doesn't look to be enormous. Even if they are, doesn't the Secret Service have the tools to do this? If they need other tools, we should be engaged in giving them that, right? I mean, if it was legitimate to protect these political figures, I'm on board with that. Trump also talking today what we've been talking about, the revised job numbers. Biden-Harris, March of 2023 to March of 2024, 818,000 down. In other words, they inflate the number by then, somehow or another, by 818,000. Is that just how these numbers work? No, I think it was inflated, to some degree at least. 818,000 difference in the jobs. And that's the thing they've been touting. That's the upside of what we've been getting, because they have no upside around inflation. All right, let's go to Robert in Ben Salem. He's on Talk Radio 1210. Robert, afternoon.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys. Real quick, you were mentioning that salt write-off on your federal taxes.
Yes.
It was capped at 10,000. Before that, it was 60,000.
Yep.
Okay, and it's basically, and I was debating somebody on this on the radio a couple nights ago, in fact. And when it was passed, New York had by far the biggest congressional delegation of all the states because it was by far the most populous state. They brought in the most taxes, and they were able to put that into the tax code. But they don't have that pull anymore because their taxes and their regulations chased. In the last 5 years, New York has lost $2 billion in tax revenue from people leaving, because now they have to pay all of their taxes that their people in New York put on them. The guy tried to say, Trump raised my taxes by getting rid of that. No, he didn't raise your – how does a president raise your state and local taxes? You deal with that in New York and stop making us subsidize it.
Yeah,
so
and closer to home,
thing.
Jersey, same thing. Yeah, they do the same thing to people. Robert, too. Well, listen, we need somebody to call in. I don't know if you're a smoker, but what does a pack of cigarettes, or heaven forbid, a carton of cigarettes cost in New York today? Oh my God! I want somebody to tell us.
I think it was $18 or $16.50. But my brother just went to Canada to visit friends. $22 a pack up in Canada.
Oh, wait a minute! Oh my God!
Every cigarette on the butt says this causes cancer. They have to do all of these things to the. It's just ridiculous, Tom.
But $22, if you're a chain smoker, an Eisenhower, somebody like that, right? 2 packs a day, you're paying like $300 or $400 a week for cigarettes. My God!
And you're giving more of that money to the government than you are to the people making profit at the tobacco company. It's the same with gas. The government makes more money from a gallon of gas and a pack of cigarettes than the companies that make them products get.
That's good stuff. Good stuff, Robert. Who's your person to run the corporation?
Well, I was going to go. Oh, geez, I forgot his name, and it's a bad joke anyway. So I'll get right to my answer. I'm going to go with Elon Musk. I can't believe that nobody took him off the board yet.
That is a great one. He had a great thing up on Twitter, Dan. He said if the Harris price controls go through, you'll have long brand lines and ugly shoes. That's pretty good. 855-839-1210. By the way, I saw a pair of shoes that you like, the ones you helped me try to find. We were in a Joseph A. Bank the other day. I don't know, $160. I was a little bit thinking that's a little bit over the line. I blame not inflation.
What was it for?
$160 shoes. Those ones that look like sneaker shoes?
Yeah, that's way too much.
Is it? What were yours?
Like $55.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I told Rob.
Yeah.
She wanted to get 2 pairs.
You got to go to one of those discount stores.
All right. Mike Waltz, Congressman Waltz next on a big National Security Day. He held a news conference today, but we'll talk about Waltz. We'll talk about all of it, what Trump is saying, too. Hey, are you constantly searching for an extra energy boost? As we age, our bodies produce less of the natural fuel needed to combat fatigue. Discover Rescue Orosine from Rescue Natural Supplements. Rescue Orosine helps enhance energy production at the cellular level, supports a healthy heart, maintains optimal blood pressure. Plus, right now, our exclusive radio listener offer, you can take advantage. You can buy 1 bottle of Orosine, get another completely free. All you have to do, use that code FUEL, F-U-E-L, when placing your order. Visit res-q.com or call 800-26-ALIVE. Again, it's 800-262-5483. Speak with a knowledgeable rescue product consultant. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Remember, use the code FUEL at checkout. Again, mention the code FUEL when you call or use it at res-q.com to get that second bottle of energy-producing Rescue Orosine totally free.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
57 and clear overnight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 79. A little warmer on Friday with a high of 83, but still mostly sunny. Even warmer Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 86. Sunday, 88. And by Monday, we actually might see some rain.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the C40 lease for 36 months for under $500 to qualified buyers. This is a really fun Volvo to drive. We also have a huge selection of certified Volvos. And what about $15,000 off when leasing a 2024 XC90 hybrid? This is an incredibly fabulous Volvo. It's the Volvo I drive. Visit us here at Cherry Hill Volvo for the attention and respect you deserve.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
The Middle Thoroughfare Bridge has reopened to traffic in Cape May County. A judge rules the SS United States needs to move from its South Philly pier in 3 weeks. And Bryn Mawr College will be the second college in the area to provide free SEPTA rides for full-time students.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Don't miss Borgata's $1.5 million Summer Showdown. Now through August 31st, 1,500 winners will earn a share of $1.5 million. Plus, 2 lucky players will win a 2024 Ford Bronco or Jeep Rubicon. Earn entries for drawings held every Saturday, including 2 grand prize drawings on July 27th and August 31st. The $1.5 million Summer Showdown, only at Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Must be 21 or older. Players must be present to win. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, it is Dom time. It's always a great day when we could have on someone as multi-talented and military guy as Congressman Mike Waltz, who, of course, is a decorated Green Beret veteran and a retired colonel in the National Guard. The Congressman joins us on a big day, the theme, national security, here on Talk Radio 1210. Congressman, always an honor. Thank you so much on a day like this for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. And just to be clear with everyone, that's WALTZ. That's T for Trump.
Well,
I did actually retire as a colonel. I did carry a weapon of war in an actual war.
You actually had a beard, too. I saw the beard in a picture, right?
And just to top it off, I led a unit in the National Guard. I was the commander, and when we got called up, I actually went. So, just to make some important distinctions.
Well, feel free to use it. It was more my producer, but we're calling him the Great Walls of China for obvious reason that are involved here. But the president speaking today, and I know you did a conference on national security before we get more to walls, about the nuclear threat, Third World War. Immediately, we're going to hear these are just fear tactics. Give us an idea what you said today about Biden, Harris, and national security.
Well, you're seeing what the world looks like when our adversaries no longer respect or even fear who's in the White House. And so it all started with the original sin of the despicable, disgraceful, and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. By the way, that was going on 3 years ago this week. You will not hear a single mention, not one, not only of Afghanistan, but of the 13 Gold Star families this week at the Democrat National Convention. And once the world saw that, Putin got the green light, Xi got the green light, and Iran, the Ayatollahs, got the green light. And now we have the largest land war in Europe since World War II. We have Americans sitting hostage in the tunnels of Gaza. We have Iran's terrorist proxies as it's flush with cash because Biden is placating and appeasing Iran launching its ring of fire around Israel, shutting down international shipping in the Suez Canal. China's increasingly threatening its neighbors. Don't forget the spy balloon that hovered over our most sensitive nuclear sites for days on end. And all of that, to top it all off and make you all want to drink a little bit more, a wide-open southern border, and the media is already whitewashing that it was just a couple of months ago. We had 8 ISIS operatives rolled up in 3 different cities that had come across our southern border as they were casing sites to hit on the anniversary of the Pulse nightclub attack from back in 2016, which happened then under Obama. So this is, what's amazing about the DNC where I am now is they're trying to pretend like this is day one of Harris. No, this is year 4 of Biden and Harris, and she has been thumping her chest and bragging that she was the last person in the room before Joe made these big decisions. Well, you own it now, sister. And first and foremost, though, is we have the anniversary of the Abbey Gate bombing, the suicide bombing that took our 13 service members coming up this Monday. And, what a disgrace and what a disservice to those families.
Without a doubt. Now, with Walz, you've kind of, just by your presence, pushed back effectively on this guy and what he has a habit of engaging in. But the China stuff is both bizarre and possibly creepy, but also incredibly serious when it comes to having a guy a heartbeat from the presidency saying they may not even be an adversary.
No, that's right. And Walz is the poster child for that old thinking that frankly was around on both sides of the aisle for a long time in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the 2000s, that if we just kind of engage with them economically, if we're nice enough, that we share a lot of our technologies, we invest in them and allow them to invest in us, then they'll be good, responsible partners and actors. Maybe competitors a little bit. Wrong. They have stolen our technology. They've stolen our IP. We've got greed in Wall Street investing not only in their economy, but in their defense industry, of all things, that our future soldiers and sailors are going to have to deal with. And by the way, as they buy up our food supply, our farmland, our pharmaceuticals, they plan to use all of it as leverage against us if we ever disagree with them. And don't take that from me as some kind of China hawk. Just listen to the chairman of the Chinese Communist Party, Xi Jinping, talk about it in his own words as he's telling his country to prepare for war, and he's talking about the decline of the United States and how he's going to replace free market capitalism with socialism with Chinese characteristics, is what he calls it, which is a techno-surveillance state over rebranded communism. And then you layer that, not only Walz did he for profit take dozens and dozens of trips and won't even describe him as an adversary, you've got Comrade Kamala talking about price controls right out of Hugo Chavez and Maduro, in Venezuela's playbook, which has ruined what once was the most prosperous country in South America. We're watching this in real time, guys. This is happening, and we're 70 days away from making this decision with a media that just is obsessed with creating more of a feel-good movie. We're watching the pep rally happen here in Chicago than really talking about these issues, these problems, these threats, and who's best positioned to deal with it.
Yeah, I hope that, again, you know this, that national security and things of that nature usually get short shrift anymore in these presidential races. Not sure why. The media drives that. But particularly with Harris, other than the Biden baggage she's involved in, we don't have any sense. My only sense of her is that she's an enemy of Israel. That's the sense that I get.
Yeah, well, absolutely. She's going to throw out the throwaway line of, Israel has a right to defend itself. But what was her first act as the presumptive nominee? To boycott the prime minister of Israel's address to Congress, to leave that chair empty. What was her second act? To chastise him on the international stage during his sit-down with her And what does Iran and China and Russia see? They see the more daylight they and these terrorist organizations see between the United States and Israel on the global stage, the more emboldened that they are. So I do think what is clear, despite the fact she won't sit down for an interview with anyone, is that this appeasement first, concessions first approach will continue. What is also clear is that their number one priority with China is not going to be containing, competing, defeating. It's going to be it's going to be climate change, which they are going to use to their advantage all day long. So I think a number of things are clear. The wide open border will certainly continue, and this is year 4 for Harris, not day 1.
Parting question for you. You were in Chicago, DNC, observing this. What did you think last night? Mrs. Obama particularly set me off on the wealth inequality issue, and they have 3 homes that are $10 million plus. God bless. But how do you get to lecture continuously? I'm sure it frustrates you. You're a no-nonsense guy. Let's debate the policy. Well, how do you have $75 million and you lecture Mike Waltz and Dom Giordano about income inequality?
Yeah, that's right. Or, this kind of sneering mocking about, quote, black jobs. Well, look, the data is clear. The majority of jobs that African Americans fill are in hospitality or in retail or in food service or kind of, delivery or manual type jobs. Well, what is right? What we're seeing for illegal immigrants take, and you hear this from people on the street and from business owners, are those types of jobs. So don't try to play the race card with that. There is real economic disruption going on with 20 million people flowing in. And when you see these migrants at their schools, when you see them at the community centers, and when you see them taking those types of jobs, that's why I think you've seen black men in particular coming over to the Trump campaign. But just, they're just playing those kinds of cards. And what they did, which I think they accomplished their mission, was to try to draw a wall between Biden and sent him off packing in the middle of the night, no doubt, and try to hit the reset button with Kamala and with the rah-rah fest that we're seeing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, they engineered this political coup. And last night was part and parcel for it. By the way, Trump has been mentioned over 100 times. Any of those other issues, economy, inflation, border, crime, single digits. This isn't serious. It's not. This is fake.
Congressman, thank you. Thanks for your service on so many fronts, and you are top notch to be on the Trump campaign. I'd love to see a debate with you and the other walls.
I'll leave that to JD, and I have confidence in that Marine to point out how liberal he is and the fact that he just nothing against his service. I have everything against him lying about it.
Exactly. Thank you, Congressman, very much as always.
Right.
Congressman,
thank you.
Mike Walls here on Talk Radio 1210. So, Dan, you have a little bit of President Trump, North Carolina.
Got a bunch of cuts, Dom. Dealer's choice.
Go ahead.
So, first off, I have him asking where Joe Biden is and talking about why he can't grab a beach chair made for children or old people, which is kind of funny. But I also have Trump saying why his presence in office, why it would have prevented everything from Ukraine to Israel. I also have a cut in which he talks about, sorry about that, he connects Afghanistan to China. And then I have another cut where he connects Afghanistan to Putin and Iran.
That's all serious stuff. Play the beach chair thing. We need a little bit of humor here.
All right, here's the beach chair one.
Where's Biden? What happened to Biden? Where is he? He's on a beach. He's on a beach. He's got somebody that thinks he looks great in a bathing suit. He likes to go to a beach. How do you leave here and go on a beach? You can't do it. There are things you just don't do. People don't want to see you in a bathing suit. Walks badly. It's hard to walk in the sand. He has a hard time lifting his feet through the sand. And then he grabs the chair. The chair is meant for old people to lift and young kids to lift, like, 4-year-old kids, right? And he can't lift it. He needs a little help. The whole thing is crazy. How we ever got that is crazy. And what happened to our country with inflation and with disrespect from all over the world, and all these wars are starting all over the place. And we're very close to a third world war, and don't kid yourself, because they are laughing, but they're not laughing too much. You're a little worried about a certain person winning the election. We had some very good polls today.
All right, we know about those. Final roundup, the lightning round next here. I could tell Trump still wants Biden to be in the ring with him. He knows the angles to go the 4-year-old beach chair. All right, we'll save the serious ones for tomorrow. Nothing better than Mike Waltzstand. Thanks for getting him. Lightning round. Be ready next on Talk Radio 1210.
Let me hear you now. I don't know.
You have key decisions to make about your money. Most investors don't beat the market, and neither do the hedge funds, who take a share of your profits. What if there was another way? A way for you to keep total control over your money where the interests were aligned. That's what the exclusive crash-proof retirement system is all about.
Mike Bisaccia from Logan Township, New Jersey. You can't follow the market because nobody can predict it. What you have today could be gone tomorrow. That's the way it works, up and down, and your money goes up and down. That's what led me to see if there was another alternative. Crash-proof retirement gave me that alternative. With crash-proof retirement, the money you make is credited to your account, and that money's yours. No ifs, ands, or buts, no worries. No fees. We had a high point of 13.5%. Once it's credited, it's your money to keep. That's a big deal.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5-NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Hi, it's John Ashdale, the Cars Czar from Colonial Hyundai. Over the last few weeks, we've watched the best of the best go for the gold. Here at Colonial, we sell the best of the best, providing a gold standard car buying experience, proving to be the fast, easy, better way to buy a Hyundai. When it comes to selection, Colonial makes it fast. With over 200 vehicles in stock to choose from, we have just what you're looking for. Palisades, Santa Fe's, Elantras, Tucsons, Ioniqs, gas, hybrids, and EVs. Colonial Hyundai makes it easy to fit a new car into your budget. We have over 80 vehicles in stock right now with prices under $30,000. Drive one home today for as low as $199 per month. Colonial continues to be recognized for offering the highest trade-in values in the region. In fact, I'll give you $6,500 for your trade, guaranteed, no matter the condition. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain, and Hyundai Assurance. All this makes shopping at Colonial better. Shop us online 24/7 at colonialhyundai.com. Colonial Hyundai, the faster, easier, better way to buy a Hyundai.
Offers include all rebates and incentives. Vehicle must be purchased at dealer listed price. See dealer for full details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Free speech lives here. With Dom Giordano, weekdays noon till 3 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
That is right. And Dom's Lightning Round, sponsored every day by Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, Cherry Hill Volvo is offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any in-stock 2024 XC90 hybrid. They always go the extra mile for their customers at Cherry Hill Volvo. By the way, I announced it today. Put it on your calendar. A week from this Friday, August 30th, our last broadcast of this summer season. The Summer White House, bittersweet. We want to have you there. You've heard us talking about Mulligan's on Hildreth Avenue. We're lining up some great guests, some great people. It's been another fun summer there with Johnny Z. Great food, great drinks, and better people. Be there a week from this Friday, August 30th. All right, let's go to Dave in Trenton on Talk Radio 1210. All right, Dave, who's heading up your corporation?
Vince Lombardi.
All right.
First year, he takes a 1-10-1 Packer team, goes 7-5. Next year, he loses to the Eagles. And he tells the team after he loses to the Eagles, we'll never lose a championship again. Won 5 championships in 8 years.
Absolutely, yeah. Dan, here's one you like. Yeah, I love the film, but you're crazed over it. Dan in Richboro. Dan, who's yours?
Well, I'll say that he has a higher IQ, even if it's at 75, than the people that are in the White House now, and that would be Forrest Gump, because stupid is as stupid does.
Life was like a box of chocolates.
That woman at Danny's telling the stories, too, at the bus stop. That was a great angle.
You know, that comes from a Dan in Richboro, and I'm a Dan. I wonder if just because we spent our entire lives being called Lieutenant Dan Ice Cream, if that's why we have the attachment to the film.
Exactly. Joe in Columbus, New Jersey. Joe, who's yours today?
Dom, first, I love your segment with Don Lemon, and I love when people try and nurture him, and he doesn't take advantage of that. My guy is the guy that rose Phoenix out of the ashes, Lee Iacocca.
Yep, Chrysler, without a doubt. Joe in Exton, on brand today. Joe, who's yours?
Yes, hello, Dom, and good Wednesday afternoon. My choice of person for CEO is Benjamin Netanyahu. Netanyahu has prior CEO experience by being CEO of a company called Israel. And Netanyahu, the person, is steadfast in his determination to defeat aggression against the state of Israel.
Thank you, Joe. One more.
Answer, Joe.
I kind of like this one. Chuck in Newtown Square. We haven't heard from in a while. Chuck, who's yours?
Hey, great day, guys. Always a terrific show. Well, I have a guy who is already known for running a large organization, I'd say nationwide. I have a guy who's known for being a good negotiator, and a guy that if he just can't get it over the top, he makes you an offer you just can't refuse, and I'm talking about Don Vito Corleone.
There
I
you
have
go.
a sentimental
Yes.
weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
All right, Dan, give me some of the contenders today.
I like the last answer, Vito.
Yeah, I do. I like that.
Lee Iacocca's a good answer, but it was kind of said earlier in the show. I love Forrest Gump as an answer. Vince Lombardi, fantastic out-of-the-box answer. I love the football coach, George Bailey from Fiction, and Tony Stark as well with the technology.
You're right.
I think it's between, for me, Tony Stark, Vito Corleone, and I don't know. Do you want Vito? I feel like there might be some kind of a...
Let's go with Vito Corleone.
Yeah,
here.
no corruption in the company, though?
No, he'll handle that. There won't be any strikes. We know
Someday,
that.
and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service.
That's right, Vito. All right, Rich Cioli is in Chicago, DNC. He's got Don Jr. at 5:30 today. Don't forget him coming to town with us on September 12th. Rich is next here on Talk Radio 1210.
Do you have $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 in debt? Then listen to this. You may not be required to pay it all back.
I was drowning in debt.
I had over $36,000 in debt.
If I would have just made the minimum payments, it would have taken me 59 years to pay off.
Whether it's credit card, medical, or personal loan debt, National Debt Relief can help significantly reduce what you owe. In fact, debt relief payments can be 50% less than your monthly credit card payments. That's right, half as much as you're paying now.
National Debt Relief reduced my debt by over $27,000.
With National Debt Relief, you have a powerful team that knows how to talk to your creditors.
National Debt Relief, they got me out of debt.
More than 550,000 Americans have used National Debt Relief to reduce their debt. Call 800-649-6464 to see if you qualify to settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. 800-649-6464. That's 800-649-6464.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy. At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Pastor Brad Lacey here, First Baptist Church, Conshohocken. Join us Saturdays for the great message and be blessed. 5 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
If the summer heat hasn't convinced you to replace your old windows and doors, then maybe my good friends at Guided Door and Window can help by giving you an extra month to do so at their